think you should be.
On the Lost Kingdom, our heroes found themselves, inside, leaving the circular array of clearings they were previously locked in. They seem to have found themselves inside of a new pathway, a straight and narrow pathway that seemed to lead into the distance. Following the path, the team came across a group of goblins who, despite their menacing nature, refused to fight. Though giving Larkin White the headache, they still did not raise any weapons and did not attack you guys. So, peaceful meets peaceful, and you guys continued on your way, emerging from the forest into what appeared to be a city. A rather nice city that seemed to be abandoned. Looking around, you guys. Looking around, Larkin noticed that the tile work in the masonry of the walkway and the fountain up ahead was that of an older ancient dwarf plant. And then investigating the houses, Sal and Wormlock both discovered that they seemed to have been uninjured for quite a long time. There was quite a bit of dust on the abandoned home, and it seems that the people that lived there at some point were still in their homes, as if in some sort of eternal slumber. Dust had built up on their bodies, as if they were dead, but there had been no decomposition, no smell, no real issues with their like them being disturbed or anything like that. Wormlock took a small scroll that went over some basic ledger stuff, Wormlock took the scroll that was ledger stuff. Al took a couple different scrolls, one being an announcement for a coming of age party for a princess, it seemed. And using the understand languages spell, he was able to read the ancient dialect that was written throughout the area. And then upon reconvening, after Sal found some additional paintings that seemed to depict a royal family of sorts, the group gathered again in the middle of the walkway, only to discover that the gargoyles they thought were merely decorations actually were alive. Meeting with Hugo Laverne and the group, they learned some information about the kingdom and where they were. Learned some interesting timeline information, and then were cordially invited to progress further into the world and meet the king. Being told that the queen was sick as of late. Coming upon the castle, the team takes a brief rest to recuperate themselves and gather their skills before eventually entering. Sal taking the lead as the most noble of the group to try to run interference with the king. Excuse me. Upon entering, the group met the king and seemed to have realized that they forgot who he was. According to the king, they seem to have met before, recently actually, as little as a week ago, according to the report. He'd asked them and hired them to take care of the witch that had apparently afflicted his kingdom in this spell. According to him, the witch came into the kingdom upon fire and wind, a great bronze dragon, and they kidnapped the princess and flew off to a distant area. But she has been since harassing the kingdom ever since, and despite his greatest efforts, he's been unable to save his daughter, actually taking a really bad fall from the top of the castle while trying to fight the dragon to save his daughter. His wife, stricken with grief and her inability to help, has been in mourning and in bed for quite some time. So as you guys are talking to the king, despite his concerns of your safety, he seems to have been assuaged that you guys will be taking care of this. But as you guys are talking to him, it seems that the queen has taken the moment to come down the stairs and join him. And that was really where we last left off, was the queen walking down the grand staircase in the middle of the castle and into this foyer where you guys are, coming to stand beside her king. And just some quick descriptions over them again. The king, again, Seems rather old, early, late late 50s, graying hair, golden circlet upon his brow, with three gems in the center, um, a large staff, the blue jewel atop the staff. The man himself stands roughly 7.5 feet tall. You get the feeling he would seem even taller if he wasn't bent, hunched over his cane. His left, or his staff, I'm sorry, his left knee seems injured as he seems to walk gingerly upon it and limp as he approached you guys from the dais where his massive throne sat. Upon his right hip sits a giant, uh, what looks almost crystalline sword, with a beautiful sapphire on the hilt. And the queen, when she comes down the stairs, has a regal bearing of her own. She stands not as tall as her husband, but a good 5'10", probably a good height for what you're used to in women. Um, she has beautiful, long, black and white hair. Um, the first actual signs on her of age. The rest of her still looks like she could easily have been in her 20s or early 30s, belaying the pictures that Sal saw of a young queen. She still looks as if almost no time has passed, but she does look affected by something. She does seem that something is weighing upon her shoulders. Um, Coming down to stand beside her husband, she smiles warmly upon you as she leans on her husband, um, who now seems to be beaming the most happy smile you've ever seen. A smile so infectious it almost makes you want to smile. You just feel like there's something to be happy about in this moment. Um, his happiness is infected. Um, it's infected. Yeah. Um, and you can almost tell that you sense a bond between them with two people with a shared purpose, and that's where we left off last week. So you know, it's your guys' floor.
I think he meant the word infectious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's dog is very upset.
That is not mine. I've had my mic muted the whole time until right now.
I don't know.
Anyways, before we go on to anything, Larkin is just gonna, just kind of grab his holy symbol, stroke his beard, as if like deep in thought about the situation, and he's going to ask his goddess Sarenrae for guidance in, this confusing circumstance. And then that's kind of all he's going to do.
Okay.
Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm gonna roll whatever knowledge or whatever thingy that you tell me to roll, because, just to try and find information out about bronze dragons, if I can.
Okay.
Dragons, would that be history?
No, that
Or would that be a straight intelligence roll?
Guys, hold on.
No, I'm asking Giraffe.
I know.
Yes.
It's gonna be. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a. Oh shit! Where'd my thing go? I just had it in my head and I forgot it. No, it's a wisdom saving. Like you're thinking about it. It's knowledge that you have. I would even take. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up one of your character sheets so I can look at the.
Because I'm
thing.
because typically it's.
Typically.
Typically it's Arcana, but I mean it's whatever he wants to flavor it as.
Well, typically yes, it would be Arcana, but since you don't have most of your memories,
Right.
And
so just roll flat wisdom.
Just roll flat. Actually, flat wisdom, and we'll see what you did.
Oh, that was really bad.
Yeah.
So,
Hey guys, guess what? I rolled another 6.
Good job. All right.
Remember when I told you guys I kept rolling 6s? There's another one. Because it says 8,
You.
but I had 2.
What would I roll just to see if they have that same, like, because I think in the paintings we saw the wristbands on them that look similar to the ones that were on the orcs, right?
It was you're thinking of their crowns. Their crowns are almost identical, except that they have jewels in the center, and that they seem to have no apparent like latch or anything.
So it's the same as the
Same
wristbands on the orcs that we saw in the forest.
Correct. The only difference is the orcs did not have any jewels upon them.
All right.
If you wanted to see if there might have been any similarity between the two, I would say you
Would-
could probably roll a perception check.
Okay, I was gonna say investigation with a sleight of hand to try and do it stealthily without being seen, but
Well, what were you trying to do then? Were you trying to like take theirs off or something, or
no. I was just to see if they were the same, yeah. I don't know. I just see if they were the same.
if you're
Or
trying to figure
similar.
out they're the same? If you remember correctly, the bands all had magic spells on them,
Mhm.
imbued in them. The best thing I would say you could do is probably run a detect magic, and see if their crowns had a similar spell upon them.
No, but if I were to do that, I would ask them about something, a general one. But I'll do that in a little bit. Then let other people ask some questions, and I'll ask
All
that one.
right.
After I asked Serenade for guidance, I would immediately just put my own back down to my side like normal.
Alright, I guess I'm gonna roll a stealth roll because I'm gonna whisper something to Sal.
Mhm.
Alright, so I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Let's see how
Alright,
this goes.
I'm gonna attempt if I can get to stealth.
Oh God. RNGesus, please.
It's not the
Okay.
worst.
So I'm gonna say you managed to lean over and whisper in his ear, but it doesn't go unnoticed. But the
Alright.
king and queen are polite enough to not say anything about it.
I was just gonna ask if I remembered correctly in the king saying that the queen was bedridden.
And he did say he was in bed sick, but not
Yeah.
that she was like injured to the point where she was stuck
Yeah.
in bed. Just that
Alright.
she was like heartbroken to the point where she couldn't gather the strength to come out and meet people on a normal basis. She was. I mean, her kingdom has been attacked, locked away in a spell, and her daughter's been kidnapped. The poor woman.
At about the time I will see the Dragonborn member of our party lean over, I would, kind of speak up and say, well, hello, Your Highness. I thought you were sick and you're not going to be joining us today.
As you say that, she turns and locks eyes with you, and she looks at you for a moment, not saying anything. Just you almost get the feeling like she's measuring you.
When she looks me in the eyes, I meant no disrespect, of course. I'm just, I just didn't know if you were gonna be with us or not.
Smiling and interrupting you, she says, "Peace, Larkin. I have heard much of you and your group, and I am gratefully pleased that you could come to us and help us in this situation. I overheard your voices echoing through the halls and assumed it must be the party my husband had gone to find. He has spoken non-stop of you in his hopes that you may return our daughter to us. And I thought it only fair that I overcome myself to come down the stairs and meet you myself and express my gratitude in person."
Smile at that and say, well, I appreciate the sentiment, but you should get some rest. We will take care of this. I will see to it.
She smiles and nods, and not taking her eyes off you for the first moment, she looks at each of you, taking a moment to make sure you're looking in her eyes, and she has your attention. The last person she's looking at being Karote, and as she smiles, and then glancing across the group again, she goes, "And I would like to formally thank each and every one of you for coming out today and being able to help us. I hope that the journey was not troublesome and that you were all able to come here safely, and I thank you. I thank you for your assistance. I pray that only that you may safely return our daughter to us, for without our princess, our kingdom is not." And with that,
Right.
she seems to sag a little more onto her husband, and a sigh escapes her, and his face, previously overcome with joy, is now freaked and concern, and his brows furrow, and he wraps his arms around his wife and whispers to her, and you hear just faintly over the air, "My queen, you should return to bed. You shouldn't be up and about." And she pats his arm and smiles gently and nods and but stands back up and he nods as well, and almost spoken acknowledgement of what she, of her willpower.
In effort like this is, Larkin is doing a very good job of hiding, just hiding his want to get rid of this person, so he will, this person meaning the witch. No, he will no longer, or I will no longer be silent, and I'll be like, well, lead us towards the cave, and we will take care of this woman.
I just want to bring attention to, since you said she was basically locking eyes with everyone, I just was looking over my sheet and noticed the racial thing about called the passionate gaze, saying that your eyes almost sparkle as you look towards people, drawing them into believing what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I didn't say anything.
No, but and that's why when she looked at you, she did smile a bit more, and that's why she quickly though looked across the away from you and to the others. But
and Larkin will
I'll turn to Larkin and say that
I will gesture to them in a manner to be like, lead the way. And
well, no, they don't need to lead the way.
They have to point us in the direction of the cave.
They told us it was down past the town, out of the left or right, whatever road.
Oh, okay. Then I will gesture to the party for us to be on our way.
Before we leave, I'm going to turn to them and ask them. I'm going to say essentially. I need to word this correctly, but
excuse me.
That was worded correctly.
Yeah. We faced the witch before, and so have you, but you seem to have retained your memories. Is there perhaps some magical items that you were wearing that may be accounted for this?
The king kind of cocks his head at you to the side, a confused look crossing his face. My dear Sal, I'm unsure what magical items you speak of.
Well, I'm just saying in general. Is there something that you have that might have accounted for your retention of memory versus our loss of memory?
No, I wish that there was something I could provide that would grant you all your memories back. Unfortunately, this is the first time hearing that the witch has done this. As far as I know, she has not affected the memories of any others of our kingdom. Merely locking, our people into their slumber. The only ones escaping being those in the castle.
Right, which
until my guards had retained all memory. Unfortunately, in our last raid upon the witch's cave, we were unsuccessful in destroying her guard, and unfortunately, I lost many of my guards. The rest I've sent outside of the kingdom to try and find help. I left myself, leaving my queen unguarded, much to my concern. But I rode the fastest and the shortest distance, and was able to get back to her quickly so that she was not attacked. But unfortunately, my other guardsmen haven't returned yet. I only hope that they fare well upon the highways. But unfortunately, no. I'm sorry, my good man. The only thing I can think of is that by destroying this witch, you may regain your memories, or by leaving the area of her effect.
Right. Well, it's not so much regaining our lost memories as in preventing it from happening a second time.
I think if you go into a fight with your senses about you, I believe the witch would have a much harder time catching you. She must have attacked you while you were sleeping or in some form of unreadiness, and that's why she has been able to do this to you. But I have firm belief that you would be able to prevent this in the future. But unfortunately, nothing that I have has any ability. And even if I did have magical items, I doubt I could use them. I unfortunately was not gifted with the Lord's blessing, as some of you are.
You are fine, and we will be on our way. We will see to it that her vileness ceases.
Larkin, do you want to lead the way this time?
Yeah, I can do that. So I will bow to them in a sign of respect, and I will turn around and lead the party out of.
I will I will bow as well, but I will back out and will not be showing my back to them.
Well, as you guys bow and start to walk out, the queen actually, curtsies herself, and then turns to return to her room. You see her start to go up the stairs again. The king, on the other hand, starts to walk behind you, following each of you out. Casual words of parting. Thank you again for your help. I appreciate this so much. Please return to us as quickly as possible. Remember, the witch has my daughter. Upon your return, though, all in my kingdom shall be yours. So on and so forth. Please be safe. He's just casually talking to you as he's walking out with you. Just kind of walking you to the door.
Right.
And as you all kind of exit the doorway, he waves one more time from the doorway. Thank you all, and may the Mother Goddess bless upon your journey. And as he says that, he shuts the door, and you hear a boom as it shuts. It doesn't seem like you shut it hard, but there's still a good resounding echo to it shutting. And you all find yourself standing on the outside of the castle.
All right.
I'm gonna kind of bring you all down here so I can.
All right. I'm taking the back.
Okay.
And then we will
Head forward.
lead us down the pathway, go towards the pathway that leads towards the cave.
That's a shame because but I didn't get anything out of that question because.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what happened. I was like, Alright, and
Give me
then
1 second to redo your tokens. Make sure you have control still.
actually I still have control of mine.
Okay, hold on. There was one other change I had to make. These aren't here. You didn't see this. You may not see what I'm doing anyways, but okay. So, as you guys leave the city and cross through the tree pathway that seemed to create a faux gate for them, you come out upon the same city square you saw before. However, this time it's different. The building's older, more dilapidated in some places. Several of the buildings on the right are just completely gone now. There seems to be an opening in the trees. There seems to be no path. There seems to be no indication that those houses ever existed previously. No, blank spots where they were. You just see grass everywhere that there was formerly a house on that right side, and just a massive gap between the trees.
I'd like to roll a perception check.
Same. I want to see if those gargoyles are still here.
I want to see if I can tell if any of the trees, like the age of the trees.
Like,
Prime, that's going to be a nature check.
Nature check? Alright.
that's just actually, there is something I can do.
What do you roll stealth?
That was for earlier when he was whispering to.
Oh, okay.
There's
Okay.
my perception.
So, Wormlock, you approach a tree, gently caressing its trunk. You're unsure the exact age of the tree, and since you didn't really check the trees that were in this area before, you can't be 100%, but it definitely seems older than the trees you saw earlier in the pathways.
I was thinking
gonna-
they
Am I
were-
the only one that really checked out the trees earlier?
Oh, I've walked up to the tree, but this was, well, Giraffe was out last time, so it didn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna suggest to Wormlock that we go into the houses really quick, the ones we were in, to see if there's any more dust, or if there's more caked stuff onto the people that we saw in there.
I agree with you. Alright, I'll go over to my house.
And I did a perception of 18 to see if the gargoyles are still around.
Yep, and you look around and you see that the gargoyles you met, the 3 animated ones, are no longer anywhere to be found, and the gargoyles that are on the houses remaining all seem to be broken or destroyed in some fashion.
What would I roll to see if there's more dust on the people inside the houses? Like, if there's any.
Because I'm going to say it's probably less than a few minutes since you did that, I'm just going to leave your perception roll. Wormlock, if you roll a perception,
I'm gonna do that right now.
roll with that. So as they go into the houses, Karote, Larkin, do you want to do anything, or am I good to go ahead and take care of their?
You can take care of their thing. I stayed outside last time. Might as well just hang out, make sure nothing tries to get the jump on us again.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Going into the house, you both notice that, well, Wormlock less so,
Mm-hmm.
less so than before, but there is. Um, okay, I'm just gonna take it in order. Sal, you enter the house and you see that it's mostly the same, except now that you see there seems to have been your footprints are clearly in the dust when you were there before, but now there seems to be like a layer of dust on the footprints.
Hmm.
You can see like a separation between the different dust levels. You can see where you kicked up some earlier, and now it looks like a layer of it has settled on over it as the time had passed.
Right. And especially, I take it like where the scroll was.
The scroll was in the kitchen.
Right.
Um, so as you progress forward, you do find that the scroll is on the kitchen counter again. There is a scroll on the kitchen counter again, and actually checking your bag, the scroll is not there anymore.
Really? Are the paintings there?
So interested to find out, you search into the back and you find that the room where the paintings are gone. They look to have been off the frames, but all the frames have been broken. The easel has been broken. The room seems to have been appended, as if someone had searched through it rigorously. But the letter was back where it was. Upon further investigation, you see that it has some dust on it, not as much as the rest of the house, though. And then you find the painting room, and then looking across the hall in some form of bewilderment, because at this point you're kind of confused what's going on. You find that the people who were there before are now no longer to be found.
Really?
There's nobody on the floor, there's nobody in the bed, there's nobody anywhere in the house that you can see, and there's no dust spot like they should have been there. Unlike your footprints, there's nowhere, and you can see your footprints where you walked around what should have been the body to investigate the chest.
Mm-hmm.
There seems to be there's your footprints, the chest is still open from where you left it open, no people, no body prints, no disturbances, no other footprints besides yours.
Huh. And what if I reach into my pockets? Do I feel the paintings in there?
The paintings are still there, rolled up just like you left them, and the box is still there.
Huh. Okay, so if I go out to the kitchen again, and can I read? Is it the same scroll if I read it?
You can understand some of it. It looks to be similar. You'd have to run your what is it? No languages or something like that.
No, I have
Oh, that's right. You have that one that lets you read anything. That's right. I forget that feat.
yeah.
So yeah, looking over it, it does seem to appear to be the same thing. You notice what looks like some numbers are different. Looks like some dates have changed. But you can't really make out the year on them anyways. It seems to have been scratched out. You just get a random like time period. And from what you're thinking of, your memory, it does seem different than it was before. But other than that, it looks almost identical from your understanding of the language.
If I were to take out one of the paintings and look at them, would they still be the same?
Do you want to take out a painting and look at it, or are you
Yeah,
just
I'm gonna look at. Yeah, I'm gonna take out the one that had the word lies written on the back of it.
Okay. So this time, so when you pull it out this time, you still see the picture of a beautiful young woman painted upon the front. The hair similar to her mother's, of a dark color, medium complexion, the skin, beautiful piercing eyes, and when you flip it over, sure as shit, on the back of it in big bold red paint is the word lies, not in the script. At first, it appears to be in the script that you use to all the other texting, and then you realize it's actually written in common. And this is actually the first time you've noticed this. It's actually written in common. You just kind of assumed you were understanding it because of your abilities. But in reality, actually looking upon it, the glyphs on it are the glyphs of the common language.
Huh. And you said it's bigger this time, or is it the same size as it was last time?
It is identical as before. It's just the only thing is this time you're noticing that it's written plain English essentially instead of the script, the rest of the writing in this place.
Right.
Anything else you want to take care of? in that house?
No, I think that's all I really need because the scroll is still there. Actually, I'm gonna take the scroll again. That's
Okay.
in the kitchen.
Okay, so you take it, you roll it up, and you stick it in your pocket.
Yeah, I put the painting back in my pocket.
Yep. So perfect.
Yeah, and I guess I leave, noticing everything that's kind of changed with time.
Okay.
What would I roll to get an idea of how much time has passed, or would I know that? Like with the cake, with the layering of dust.
Mm. Let me think.
Would it be like nature, investigation?
I'm thinking probably investigation, just because you would be, looking at the difference between previous and now. Nature would be if you were like, if you were the first time you went in, if you were like, how much dust, how long has this been here for this dust to have been here? I would say nature, because you would want to know how long it would take for that kind of dust to come to fruition. But since you're just trying to see how much time has passed since you were last here, I'm just say it's an insight.
Insight,
Yeah.
or insight or investigation? Because you kind of started.
Oh, I'm sorry. Investigation. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. Yeah. So looking at it, you determine, as weird as it seems, like probably 50 to 100 years have passed
Oh
since
shit.
something from this house last.
Oh,
can't
yeah.
You're pretty confident that it's closer to the 100 mark, but you can't be sure exactly, just because without knowing a original time period, it's hard to guess the difference. And of course, having not lived over 100 years, it's hard for you to have seen that difference in any kind of architecture or anything.
True.
But you have a pretty good idea. It's been quite a while since those footprints were left the first time. So yeah. Anything else?
Now I'm gonna just take my things and leave. And take.
Okay.
Yep. And I head back outside and meet up with the other two
Okay.
and kind of relay this information to them.
Okay. So you go outside and do that. While you're out there doing that, Worm, like so at the same time that Sal entered the house, you entered yours, and you still got that creep factor from before. You're still kind of freaked out about the bodies and everything, so you're kind of like carefully looking around. Like, you notice your footprints, but you kind of don't notice much else.
Right.
As you kind of creep around, you check the kitchen. Everything looks the same. The table looks like it's like, you kind of feel like something's been moved, but you can't put your finger on it. Like, it's like when you come home and you're like, something's different,
Right.
but you don't know what. That's what the feeling is. You're like, it's been a while. You haven't been in there. You've got a lot going on. You're not quite sure what it is. Something just feels off. Gathering your spirits, you go back to investigate, and you do find that the people are gone as well. Everybody, the kids, the parents, everything's gone. There are no bodies, no dust where their bodies. The dust is where their bodies were. Like, they were never there.
Alright, so there's no trace.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing you really notice. You don't really get a chance. You don't really pick up that there seems to be more dust or anything like that. You just kind of figure, like, it looks like the people have disappeared. So now you're like, crap. Now there's like zombies roaming around or something.
Fantastic. Alright, well, this is strange. I'm gonna go let everybody else know what I see.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys all regroup by the fountain in the center of the town, if you will.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. And do you relay all the information back?
Yeah, guys. So the bodies are missing, and the house I was in feels off, but other than that, I really can't tell y'all what else has happened.
Yeah, the bodies were missing in the house I investigated as well. But strangely enough, my footprints were there.
Strange.
And get this, the paper, the invitation I took the first time that I showed you guys,
Mm-hmm.
that disappeared from my person and ended up back over there.
That is very strange.
But what's even stranger is I decided to take a look at the because it looked like there were still dust kicked over my old footprints was there,
Right.
and it looked like, from what I could tell, about 50 to 100 years had passed since I left those first prints.
Alright, what the hell is going on?
I have no idea.
Any thoughts, Larkin? Kiro?
Nope, I have no idea.
Did you guys, while we were in there, did you guys notice anything?
No, it's pretty quiet out here.
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was on mute. I bumped the button. My apologies.
It's okay.
So I'm speaking in character now. I don't know. I think the faster we move on and try to get some way out of this predicament, the better off that we're gonna be. Either the Lady of Light, either she's having a hard time getting through this timey-wimey crap, or she can't give me answers herself. I'm not really getting much help from her other than everything will be okay in one way or another.
Alright.
I do really wish we could have gotten something from the king that might, like, something that would have...
Let's talk about that on the way.
I don't.
Yeah.
Because he's able to retain his memory. He's able to go out.
Let's. I interrupt him. Let's talk about it later. We're still relatively close. The castle.
We're in the town, and they didn't seem to know what we were talking about. Nor did they know that we investigated. Or if
The
they did, they
houses.
didn't say anything. They didn't.
Just trust my gut instincts on these, please.
Alright.
Alright.
And I lead the party through the forest, and then once I'm gonna let you go, do the scene transition, but I just want to say this before you do that. Once we get like 30-40 feet into the forest, hopefully that's like there's that length, then I will bring up the conversation and my thoughts about what's going on.
Alright, I guess while that's happening, I'm going to ask Sal, because he's the wizard expert, if he knows of any spells that mess with time.
I guess that would be knowledge history or knowledge arcana.
I don't know. It's up to Giraffe, but
Well, that's what I'm
any
asking
spell-
him.
Well, if
Yeah.
if you'd like to do a check, then and you're trying to figure out timey-wimey space stuff, then yes, it would be it would be an Arcana check. But if you're just asking Sal if he knows of any, Sal would have to do an Arcana check.
That's what I'm saying. Do I need to roll arcana if he's asking me?
Yeah, go ahead and roll Arcana just so we can see if you roll high enough to like try and remember anyways.
Nah.
Yeah, so you've got a pretty good idea that
Probably somewhere in my studies there are spells like that. Maybe not knowing what it is off the top of my head.
exactly. You've got this good idea that there are spells that may have some effect on that. Looking off the top of your head, you're like, it would take someone really powerful to be able to pull this off.
Interesting. Alright, that's it.
Yeah.
Karate, you want to take the middle?
And then when you do the scene transition, I'll start talking about the thing. So I'm just waiting on a resident GM to do that for us.
Okay. Alright, give me 1 second, guys. I'm just
Yeah, you're fine.
So what are your thoughts, Kurote?
Like I said, I wanted to keep this hush hush until I brought it up when I thought we were like in a relatively safe
No, I'm
Okay.
I'm assuming he's talking. I'm talking to him about the spells and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Since
Sorry,
he's-
my bad.
He's sort of kind of magically attuned as well.
Alright, I'm gonna let you guys finish that conversation, and then I'll jump in with the transition, okay?
Alright.
So, if you want to say anything, Kuroki, feel free. Otherwise, I can just jump into the transition.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay. So, as you guys progress to the right of the village, heading into the forest, you hear something. You listening to it now, you almost realize that you've been listening to it. It sounds like thunder and lightning. It sounds like there's a storm going on the other side of this clearing. So as you progress forward, you come into. Give me 1 second. So as you guys come into the clearing, you all come into a very surprising scene. In front of you stands not the forest that you were expecting, not anything of that nature, but in front of you stands the strangest sight. So give me 1 second, let me get you all on the same page. And then, so, what the
Hell?
Yeah, so, what you walk into is you see a man surrounded by all 12 of the goblins that you faced earlier. And as you walk into the clearing,
Except they've got a big red X painted on them.
well, hold on. So as you walk into the clearing, you see this man standing, and he looks massive. You know, he's tall. He looks strong. He's got this shield, this helmet. He's full decked out in this armor, and he looks lit up from the inside out. He is like hovering above the ground by like a good foot, and there's just lightning raging around him. And as you guys come into the scene, you see it lash out and like strike all 12 of the orcs all 12 of the goblins simultaneously, just clear, flowing right through the middle of them all, just blowing out the circle around him. And as he settles back to the ground, the lightning in the air, the darkness from the clouds above him swelling and disappearing and dissipating, settles to the ground, and you get your first real look at him without seeing him in this. And you notice he looks scarred and rugged. You know, his armor looks beat up, his skin looks rough. He has been around for a while, and this guy is not playing. And as he settles to the ground, he looks over at the newcomers, and seeing you all for the first time, you know, he readies himself.
He can ready himself all he wants. Look at what I just did. I'm not taking any chances. I'm putting him in a bubble.
Hang on, guys.
No, no.
Guys, can I talk, please?
Hold on 1 second.
Hold on. If it's gonna interfere with anything I just did, my thing triggers first.
It's not. But I should have at least 6 seconds to say the short little phrase that I want to say. So just relax. Let me say my thing, please and thank you. I'm gonna say to this man, who clearly just did a giant display of power, seeing these goblins that fell, I'm just gonna chuckle and say, serves the bastards right.
And all that, I turned to him and say, "Oh, hey, all they did was play dice with those nice gargoyles."
Yeah, they were nice
They
guys.
insulted me. Shut the fuck up.
I insulted
guys-
you too. Are you gonna kill me?
As you
Right.
guys start bickering, he notices you for the first time, and taking a ready stance behind his shield. Go ahead.
Okay. It seems kind of odd that spell got cast though.
Huh?
The wall of force. Wow, what's going on with that?
Basically, I put a hemispherical dome over this dude. That is roughly, it is a 10-foot dome. Because I am not trusting anything after that freak lightning storm.
So it doesn't affect your abilities or anything. You're still surrounded by all the corpses. They can still hear you. They're just like this.
Yeah, he just
semi-invisible.
can't do any more. If he decides to cast anything, he can't do anything to us.
Yeah, that's all. So it doesn't affect your ability to talk or do anything. It hasn't directly affected you. You know, you definitely have the understanding that it's not not an attack on you, but you also don't know exactly what spell it is off the top of your hand. You just know something is being cast.
I'm sorry.
Who are you?
I am Stormlock, and this is, we're a group of travelers.
I am Larkin. I thank you for taking care of those goblins that caused me so much stress. We
They only
do not-
insulted you. They didn't physically harm you in any way. Why did you wish them
it
dead?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But doesn't it?
Jesus Christ.
They could have been They could have just been innocent people for all we know, and you just enjoyed their death.
Come on, guys, we could have won a bunch of gold.
Larkin is gonna sigh very loudly. Jesus. Can you just leave me alone? Please. I know you guys like fucking with me, but please.
Out of character, I
Anyways.
like how he keeps referencing Jesus in this.
Yeah.
Who doesn't
Everyone's
get
very
D&D?
confused.
Every
Jesus
time I
reference.
say Jesus Christ, no, okay, I'm saying that like out of character.
No, I just like this idea that your character just keeps going, Jesus Christ.
I've never heard of this. Who the hell are you talking about?
Anyways,
I'm gonna turn to him and ask him, did you happen to run into some gargoyles as well?
The ones by
The
the
three,
ones that serve the Margrave, yes.
are they the three that were hanging out right before the castle?
Yes. I spoke to them before I met with the Margrave, the king.
How long ago was that? How long ago was that to you, I should say?
It did not feel as it was long ago. As I'm answering these questions, I'm pacing up to the barrier, and I kind of slam my warhammer against it, and it just bounces off. If we come only to speak, then there is no need of this barrier.
I didn't cast it.
Kira, break the
Listen.
spell.
That was
break the
me.
spell. There's no reason to have him in this thing. He killed the goblins.
And
Goblins.
apparently you didn't see that. Apparently you didn't see that massive storm.
Oh my God.
Oh, what a lovely team.
You know what?
Lord Almighty. Can you just let me talk, please?
I want to ask
You
something.
can talk through the barrier. He can hear you.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm talking to you, not him. Oh my Lord.
Can people go
Anyway.
through the barrier?
No, nothing physically can pass through it, and it extends into the ethereal plane, which is why spells can't go through it, and it is immune to the spell magic.
I was just gonna walk
Yeah.
through if I could do that. I don't care.
Anyway.
You don't scare me.
Let me make
Yeah.
my point, please.
Okay,
Goblins,
it's not going to change my mind.
goblins are creatures of evil. He clearly are typically creatures of evil, knowing the chaos, albeit whether it was through physical actions or not.
You mean verbal
chaos-
abuse?
that they caused in the past was clearly not that of someone who isn't at least a little bit wrong of mind.
Oh
and
yes,
wrong of will.
I agree,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's still
shooting
good
it-
to be cautious.
yes.
Okay,
Shooting
let,
the
let
dice
him,
is
let
such
him
a heinous
finish
act.
so I can rebuttal.
And I don't know if he tells the truth. I'm going to insight check him real quick. You still can't move. He didn't release the barrier.
He's still in
I'm
the
up to
square.
the edge of the barrier, which is 10-foot radius, so I think I'm standing at the edge of it right now.
You are.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyways, I will insight check him to see if he was telling the truth about, not wanting to harm us. Or at least not having intentions of harming us.
Do you want me to
So-
roll a d20 in the blind, or actually pick a skill?
What are you trying to do?
Well,
I mean,
I figure I have to roll against the insight.
yeah. So if you're you roll against my insight regardless or not, regardless of if you're lying or telling the truth. If I roll higher than you, whether you're telling the truth or not, I know what the actual truth is.
Persuasion?
Yes, but I'm wondering if I still roll deception, or if, regarding a change in circumstances, I have to pick between deception or persuasion. So,
You would.
to just let you know, I'm wondering if I should just go ahead and roll deep instead of having actually clicking a skill.
Just
I mean-
roll
So-
D20.
I mean, it's typically like if you're lying, then you would roll. I mean, it's up to GM, but if you're lying, then you would roll deception if you're telling the truth, or just purely trying to persuade us to drop the barrier, then it would be persuasion.
But since I don't want to give away either way, roll a D20.
It's even with the skill bonus, it's less than. I'm telling the truth.
Yeah. So
All right.
looking or listening to them speak, you have the deep inside knowledge, and you're listening to the things come from your creator or from your goddess. But something just tells you trust this man. He's done
Listen.
he has done a service. He has done nothing to harm you at this point. Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, Kurote, I know you're not gonna trust me, but it's not the fact that he destroyed the vile creatures. I could feel and hear the meaning behind his words. He was calm, he wasn't aggressive or trying to hide any ill will. I think we trust this man. I know that you don't trust people. We don't trust who's back at the castle. We need to find an ally somewhere, or we're never going to get out of this situation. And he can roll whatever he wants against what I'm trying to persuade him.
I mean, worst comes to
My
worst,
rebuttal
Kiro.
is, fuck you, I don't trust him.
Alright, Kiro, think of it this way. There's 4 of us, and there's 1 of him.
You can't just avoid a roll off, though.
No, I'm not avoiding the roll-off. That's to the previous thing, that when you were going off on your little rant.
Yeah.
So what do I need to roll against his persuasion?
Yeah, you just roll a.
Oh, if it's
keep rolling
persuasion,
really
if,
bad.
if I have to roll persuasion, you're fucked. Unless I roll shit as well.
Once again, another 6, guys. I'm consistent!
I have a
Woo!
modifier of 8 on persuasion.
Why is your wisdom so high?
It's not. It's not
It's
necessarily.
charisma.
It's not-
Persuasion is charisma.
Oh wait, shit, that's right. Sorry.
It's not necessarily persuasion that you would need to roll.
Insight against his persuasion, or what am I rolling?
I mean, let me see. Because I'm trying to think. Because it's not persuasion. Because that would be your. Might be you trying to persuade him.
It'd be me persuading him to not why I don't want to lower it.
We've
Yeah.
never really done. You're just saying no, I'm not lowering it.
I mean, you could roll really poorly. So I mean, you can roll a persuasion if you want to see if he was able to convince you. If you want to go that route, but if you're confident that regardless, you're gonna
Just whatever you want me to roll off against, because he's not being very persuasive.
Yeah.
Would it be some kind of like save? One saves?
I'm thinking it's gonna be a charisma save.
A
Probably.
charisma save.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
What charisma roll?
Okay, flat charisma roll or save?
A save. I mean, I'm sorry. I meant a
Okay,
save.
let me do a charisma save here, and
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, like, you
Of
try to
course.
cast it, and he just looks at you with the arrogance of youth, raises his eyebrows. Man, I don't care if he's innocent or if he's not here to harm us until we know what he's here for. Let's
He
get
probably doesn't know what he's here for. And if he does, then we need to figure that out. He seems very upset that he's in this barrier and not willing to talk until we drop it.
Gara, do you have anything to say? Well, they're all arguing this out loud. Back.
Jeez, after all this, he'd actually start laughing. After all this bickering they're going through, and if they ever stop to look at him, like, wondering why, he'd just... Ah, you remind me of my old friends. We came through here first.
How
Are you
long?
sure about that? How long ago was this?
A few hours. They didn't pass the first camp. That's why I took care of these
And you were hired.
Wretches.
So you were hired by the king. How long ago was that?
This couldn't have happened more than a few hours.
So the king sent you out a few hours ago. We came back to meet the king a few hours. Oh, that's not an hour ago. Would you say, right? Or how
Indeed,
long?
it was about 30 to an hour.
Yeah, and we went to talk to him a week ago.
No, that happened a week ago. I left the castle recently. So the king
What?
says.
It's been. We entered the castle about an hour, 2 hours ago, and when we left, it was 50 to 100 years later.
Since we walked into the castle.
I
So
can't say
I don't-
anything about that.
I don't know what time bullshit is going on. But the point being is my friend over here is unwilling to take risks, and I'm trying to assure him that this isn't a risk, but, you know, people can be stubborn.
The king sent you after his daughter, correct?
Yes.
That is why I was away.
Did you go when you and your group went through the town? Were there more houses, or was there just like were there houses on both sides, or were there just houses on the one side with the two on the right?
Well, my party didn't make it that far. I came through the town alone, with houses were on both sides.
And then when you left, after you talked with the king and left, you came down and you saw that the houses on the right were all gone except for two.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Same with us.
I didn't think much of it with all that was going on.
Understandable.
Yeah. Did you also, did you also wake up in the woods without really having any idea why we're here, or did you?
Yes. It was when I was first met with my new comrades. We tried to make our way to the castle, but they were felled. And then I met the Margaret King. He spoke of how he hired us a week ago to help his daughter. And then I left, found these goblins, took care of them.
Yeah, similar things happened with us. We woke up in the clearing. We fought a couple of bits of orcs in like 2-3 different camps. Went down a path. The goblins didn't attack us. They just mocked us, or at least mocked one of us.
Quickly, out of character, quickly, 180. What? Spy, what did you say about the gargoyles? Because I missed that because you cut out. I just heard something about gargoyles, and then I didn't hear anything.
They jumped me similar to how you met them.
They jumped. Okay, so in this, Larkin, I will speak up. Like you said, the gargoyles jumped you. Did they attack you?
He said no at first.
They
Okay.
Told him they told him about the king and queen.
Oh, okay.
And then that's why we went to go
I'm
talk.
gonna.
So is he a Goliath?
My apologies. I don't.
No,
I said-
he's definitely not that tall. He's
Okay,
tall but human.
Okay, I just remember you saying because we just see this huge dude.
I will.
I'm gonna actually before you do that, did you when you went to the town the first time when houses were on the left and right? Did you go into any of them?
No, I was more concerned with the castle.
Okay.
Alright.
I figured if anyone was of importance was the left, he'd be in there.
Well, since you guys see the spell information begrudgingly, whether I want to lower it goes down after 10 minutes.
Yeah. I was going to tell you, on top of that, you're blocking the entire path forward.
Yep.
So you can't move forward anyways until your spell comes down. So
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I could just knock Hero out. That's an option.
The currents have pulled us together. This must be Cord's willing.
I
I agree.
don't know. I'm going to, and visibly, I'm going to. Everyone will see this if they're, looking at me. Even if they're not looking at me, they will see. I'm going to close my eyes and clutch my holy symbol, and you know, once again, ask Saren Ray kind of, what's going on, and then, if she answers, then a light will emit from my symbol.
Okay.
I was abridging, what I was actually gonna ask, because essentially, in a very roundabout, like formal way of asking her, that's what I'm asking her.
Yeah, just do me a favor, roll me a religion check.
Alrighty, then let me pull up my character sheet.
That's what
Six.
While you're doing this, Gerhard's just kind of just squinting at you, very... It's almost like he's perplexed.
6.
20.
So, as you clutch your holy symbol and pray to Saren Ray, a small light begins to emanate through your clutched hands, and a wave of consolation rushes over you, and reassurances that, again, all will be okay, all will end well, just to continue forward and do good in the world, to do good in the situation. It's really the feeling you get from it. It is a weak light, even with your natural deep connection. That's really the only reason we're able to even sense Saren Ray in this world. You definitely feel something interfering. And as you guys have progressed, it seems harder and harder to pull Saren Ray's influence yourself. And you're really getting the feeling you're getting close to something truly dark, truly evil, but you don't feel that it's bad. You definitely feel like something is there, but you don't feel like it's this newcomer. There's something in the universe that is blocking your connection to
What's
your
that
body.
music?
Someone's washer or dryer. Something's blocking your connection to your goddess, and as such, you feel it's almost like like you're trying to drink a glass through a straw. You just can't get as much as you want or as you need fast. And as fast as it comes, it seems to start to ebb away again.
I will open my eyes, with the faint glow of yellow from her power, fading away, to reveal, my very light blue eyes, and I will turn to the party and say, Saren Ray is having a more difficult time connecting to me. I know now for sure, and I had assumed before, I didn't have a clear answer. Something is blocking her. Something is blocking her from reaching me or us with her full power, and I can't. I don't know how many more times I can call to her safely, but I know now for sure that it is not this man in front of us. And then you can, I don't know, like, if you don't, like, out of character, obviously, you definitely know who Saren Ray is, but in character, you might not. I don't know how well your memories are.
You act as if it's a god of some kind. I don't know who it is, though.
I mean, none of you guys have really rolled, like, a religion or an arcana check. You guys just know that I talk about Saren Ray a lot, and
Also coming from the Fae, I may not have any kind of idea, but I can roll a religion check to see if I have any idea who the hell this Saren Ray is talking about.
I don't really care.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Gross.
So you, thinking on it, you reflect, and you've heard the name before. When you were your time in the Elvis city of Alessandra, you've definitely heard the name before. Placing whether it was the name of a famous person or a goddess or some kind of like celebrity, you can't really be sure. So now you're wondering, is this guy just like, does he constantly just pray to some like famous person, or is it like a god or something? Like, you've got this weird feeling, but you feel like this guy puts a lot of trust in whatever it is.
Yeah.
That being said, out of character, obviously, she's one of the most well-known and like worshipped. So it wouldn't be super hard to try and figure out who she is. But that being said, you rolled super poorly, so I'm not gonna discount Giraffe on that one.
Well,
I did roll shit poorly.
on top of that, I hate to say it, but he would be at a slight disadvantage because he comes from an alternate plane of reality.
Yeah,
instead
that
of
too.
a
That
plane.
too. That's why less so on Zane, because he's from a different plane. But
And on top of that, with all of your memories being gone and
Yeah.
unknowns to you in the full game, Samurai is not a major goddess. Samurai is
yeah,
sideways over time. So she has a much smaller following in this world than most people would be used to. A few thousand years ago, big name, big person. Current day, like the world you guys come from, not so much. She's a goddess, but one of the minor ones.
All right.
So yeah, at this point, Larkin's feeling very confident. Kurota, you're kind of confused now about who the Saren Ray is, what she has to do with any of this. And Wormlock, Sal, do you guys have any feelings? Garahad, anything else you guys want to say?
No, I just want to ask Hero when that spell's gonna break. I'm getting impatient.
I guess we probably do have to get moving forward.
Yeah.
I broke the
shame.
concentration to the barrier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with that, the barrier just seems to, a million little cracks kind of seem to form into the ethereal world, and with a slight pop dusting, this magical, like, dust seems to fall and evaporate in the air around you, Garhead, and you get the feeling of fresh air again and fresh wind, and you feel chords, you feel a connection to the chord again in the air, in the tree, and such. Not the same connection you're used to feeling, with him when you had your memories, but you still feel closer to him than you did locked in that bubble.
Good. Those bodies are starting to stink.
It's a shame, really. The gargoyles lost their dice buddies.
Yeah, they're gambling buddies. Hey, at least we still got some of that dice.
It appears they rolled poorly at last. Garahad thumped his very long. It's a long shield that's almost as tall as he is, and it's kind of bent, like it's a bit of a kite shield, but a bit sharply. And as he turns it towards you, you can tell it looks like it was a bow of a ship that now has a giant lightning-like scar running down the middle of it. And as he thumps it, he brings his warhammer to his chest. I'm Garahad the Margoom. At your service.
Oh, howdy, partner.
Yeah.
And for clarity sake, I'm just going to shorten his token name to Garahad.
Well, to reintroduce myself, I'm Wormlock. I'm one of the traveling companions in this quest of ours that I have very little memories of.
Yeah, we all kind of seem to have lost those.
Much like the party I was with before.
That's odd that it seems to be happening multiple times. And yet the king and queen know nothing about it.
Perhaps in saving their daughter, we may find the answers we seek.
Yes.
Alright, I don't know which way we need to go from here, so,
Probably straight on.
alright, I don't know if, I guess Larkin wants to take the front, or let the newcomer take the front? Because I know you like being in the front, Larkin.
As that seems to hang in the air, Gerhard just turns right back around and starts walking down
Alright,
the
I'll
road.
follow you. I'll take the back if y'all guys want to keep forward.
I'll be.
And Major still hasn't come back yet. He was having trouble with Discord.
Oh. Okay, I must have
I
missed that.
don't know if you guys saw that message in the Discord. He said he was having some. There he is.
Fucking God. I had to do an update.
I
Alright.
have my Discord muted, so I don't know if you guys talk.
Alright, so if Morgan is in the
Garaha.
lead.
Yeah, you guys were cutting out like every other word.
Which sounds
Yeah.
alright. Well, we're letting Garaha take the lead unless you want to fight him for that.
I can. At the very least, for the, shall I say, lack of hospitality, I will let him lead this one.
Alright.
Yeah, so it seems your temper has gotten the better of you again.
Okay.
So remember, no short jokes.
I hate both.
Okay, so you guys progress forward. You travel through trees that are continuously getting thicker and thicker, and as you guys travel down these trees, you start to notice that the weather is changing. At this point, you start to notice that the sky is getting darker. Things are getting, the wind's picking up a bit in the area. You definitely feel like you get the idea that you're rolling into a storm in a certain way.
Yes! Cord is with us.
It definitely feels weird. You're all kind of confused because up to this point, besides the bit of storm that you found because of Garahad, you guys haven't seen any real weather in this place. It's all been like stagnant and stale, and now there's the wind's blowing, the trees are bending. The whole place is kind of going crazy. So it's definitely very interesting. And as you guys progress, you notice the trees start to get thinner and thinner and thinner, and up start to see a clearing form. And as you approach that clearing, you start to hear some things in the distance. Listening closely, you can't quite make out what they are. But as you get closer, it seems to get louder. It almost seems to sound like someone just humming on the air. And as you guys progress, and I'll do this in 1 second.
Should we leave the tokens or no?
Sorry? You don't have to. I'm going to move to the next map in a second, just to make sure you all should have control of your characters on the next one.
Alright.
As you progress forward, you start to notice not only is the wind picking up, but in the distance you can hear thunder. And, coming upon a clearing, or just before you come upon a clearing, you find a small stream side of the trees that seems to come out of the tree line to your right. And the stream, the plants inside of it are all fantastically bright, beautiful. They seem to be like the most beautiful flowers you've ever seen. And you get this odd feeling that this isn't what should be in a forest, essentially. Like, this doesn't make sense necessarily.
Before we go to the next scene, seeing like the weather pick up, I'm going to cast protection from energy lightning on myself.
Alright.
Okay.
Never be too cautious. I am adorned in a full suit of armor, so if anyone gets struck by lightning, it's gonna be me.
But you're also the lowest to the ground.
Doesn't matter.
I like you already.
Well, remember, I did say in the Garahad voice.
True.
I, the player, will make many of these observations. Garahad is above mocking,
I am not.
unless it's his enemies.
Okay. So, as you guys progress forward, you all come upon. Let me scroll my maps down so I can get the page. This one is, and I will forewarn out of game for a second. This one is not as pretty as any of the others. These have had some of I've not had the ability to actually make these look nice to my standards. So it is going to be very bare bones, and I apologize. But please bear with me.
It's all good.
But as you guys come into it, you find yourselves in a clearing, and in front of you seems to be a mountain that rises up as high as you can see, even higher than what you appeared to be in the beginning, which is kind of takes you all for a reel for a moment when you realize that, you know, you were miles above the ground before. Now you're looking at a mountain that's even taller than that. Its top disappearing into the storm clouds above you. And like I said, as this happens, you guys are hearing this, and then as you get closer to the entrance to the cave, you start to hear over the background a slight tune catch your ears. And it kind of just repeats over and over. This light humming noise just kind of goes through the air in ways that no humming should. And you see in front of you an entrance, and the entrance is wide enough for you guys to go in one or two at a time. But inside is dark. There's no real idea what's inside of this mountain here. There's no real way to know what lies before.
What about those with dark vision?
I love my dark vision.
Same.
You're more than at this point. You're so far enough out that you're not even really getting a good look inside. The light's kind of reflecting off the opening, and you just kind of at a disadvantage of trying to look through that darkness. As you get closer, you'll be able to see more and more.
All right.
But at this point, it just seems like almost like inside too. There's something not blocking your view magically, but something that's diluting the light to a point where it's almost hard to make anything out of you.
I rest my hand, free hand on my warhammer and cast light cantrip.
Okay.
There we go. Found it.
Okay. So your warhammer now sheds light in a 20-foot radius, in whatever color you'd like. And
Blue, of course. Color of lightning.
there we go. So yeah, there's a blue light just glowing from Garhead's lighthammer now, and all of you are illuminated by it. And
Turn to him and say thanks, but now stealth is useless.
yeah, so
The coward's way.
it's gonna reveal that much more.
As he says, the coward's way, I'm just gonna chuckle and say to him, "You think I'm sneaking around in armor like this?"
I walk close to the entrance and kind of shove the warhammer in front of me to see how much it illuminates.
Let's see. Okay, so you would get, and you are at the entrance, like you are only able to see like directly in. If with your warhammer shoved inside the doorway, you would see a bit more. If you're still outside of it, your sight is limited. So you've got about that much.
It opens further inside.
Oh, that's typically what caves do.
That's what caves do, bro.
He's not even responding to that, he's just going in.
Hot control, damn it.
Let's just hope we don't run into any.
I'm waiting for that dragon, so I really want to fight that dragon.
Man, my token gets messed up every time.
What's wrong with
Nothing. It just every time it deletes my
Token.
my lay on hand bar.
What is that second bar?
That's the lay on hands bar because I have 50 castings of 50 hit points to heal with lay on hands.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So I've seen you use it, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what to put there, so I just been.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Yeah, it's 50. It's 50, and then whatever whatever I'm at, it said on my character sheet, which we did that long rest, so I'm full.
Alright, so are we gonna move further into? Or actually, with him inside now, how much more does that do we make?
Yes, I'm facing that. Okay, I'm just trying to get the full because it's a radius. So I'm trying to get the distance. Okay. So it
I can
gives it-
probably actually turn on an aura if that would help.
Boom. So as you spin, you step into a cave, and as you look around you see the top has no discernible top. It seems to be hollowed out for as much of the mountain as possible. Looking around, you see to the right what looks to be what looks to be a tall, dark obelisk or shape. To your right, up to the upper left, seems to be another dark shape. But the whole air has a weird thickness to it. Not like the thickness of like a fog per se, but like a light fog. You can see through it, but there's definitely some kind of mist swirling through the air that's discerning shapes. And as you've gotten closer, and as you're entering the cave now, you all start to hear this echo even louder. This.
Would it be would it be would it be a nature check to see what kind of fog this is?
Archon.
I'm gonna whisper to Kiro and suggest going invisible just in case something happens.
Okay, so Sal, you your Arcana. You definitely get this mist is not natural. This is not part of the cave. Something's causing this.
Out of character.
You're definitely having to feel like this is probably caused by the dragon.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's kind of like dragon breath or whatever.
Okay, so just for reference, I need to find it, but if you see a token, if you see a boot, that's haste, in case I cast haste on myself, and then, I guess since lightning, I'll use the lightning token to show that I have protection from lightning, so.
You're good. I had it written down. I remember, but
No, it's fine. It's fine. In case you don't remember, just always ask me if you don't remember what little symbol I have on my character, because
So so I take it I'm in the cave now, or I can see it from the cave entrance. So I'm gonna inform Wormlock and Zane or Kurote about the fog.
yeah. So with you being in the cave, Sal, you're being in the entrance. I'm gonna give you you're not gonna get full dark vision, unfortunately, just because of of the mist. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I will give you like a little bit of a little bit of pass, so you can see about 30 feet. So looking in there, you get about 60 feet.
yeah, I also have 60-foot dark vision.
Yes. So you should be able to see slightly, just because of the fog.
Mhm.
So you guys can see about this much.
All right.
I'm gonna walk over to the closest to the entrance.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I guess we'll follow Karahad.
I'm not gonna go too far. I'm just gonna like cover their 6, essentially, over here.
Does it have any writings on it or anything that would kind of?
I'm gonna roll an investigation to see, or would it be Arcana again?
Hold on a second. Go ahead, roll me a perception check. Sal, what were you trying to do?
I was gonna say if I were to want to look at the obelisk, would that be investigation, or would that be
What
perception?
are you trying to determine?
I was just gonna look at it, see if I could see any discernible writings or what I can determine from it.
Same thing, perception.
Okay.
So, okay. Looking at it, Garhad, you know instantly looking at it, this is what massive stalagmite was.
Actually, with that perception, I don't feel the need.
Yeah, as long as you communicate, so you didn't need anything. You stop that. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm using the right word for this. I can never remember which is which. So yeah, looking at you get the realization that you're standing next to a massive stalagmite. Just pacing to either side of it, you get the feeling this is probably as big around as some of the trees you guys are looking at there. And it stretches as far up as your light shines in 20 feet any direction, and it stretches above your level. If you had to hazard a guess, you'd say it stretches to the ceiling. But it's definitely stalagmite. And just looking to the left, you kind of get the feeling that the other one is most likely the same thing. You get the feeling you're in some kind of ancient cavern where at some point there was at least where there has been water or mist or some kind of condensation and rock buildup over the years.
But it doesn't look like this thing has actually been worked with. It's just naturally formed.
It is naturally formed. If you were to walk a little bit more to the right between the wall and the stalagmite, you would notice that there was a small bald spot where it looked like the rock had been like shaved off in an area. And if you were to investigate that further, you would find that it has a horrible stench to it.
Ugh.
Other than that, you can't really determine why that side is flat, and the rest of it kind of looks like it's built up over the years. It's rough and uneven. It has these different layers that you can detect, but that flat side that was just highlighted, it just looks flat. But the other, it looks like something just nasty has been rubbing against it for years.
Kiro, are you coming inside?
Can I roll investigation to see if there's anything? Well, first off, I assume he's relaying this information back to us.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be pacing around.
Yeah.
Looks naturally formed, but this spot here, I don't know where I'm going with this accent. This spot, it's odd.
Would it be in nature or investigation to see if there's anything left over from whatever rubbed against it, like a scale or something?
It's gonna be nature because you're trying to figure out what's been scratched from that.
Someone's sleeping.
Warren?
Alright then.
Did I put somebody to sleep?
I think so.
This has never happened to me before. What is that?
I think it's Zane.
It's Zane.
What? Yes, sorry, I'm indeed, I couldn't really move my figure there. Yeah, but I'm right behind you guys.
Okay.
Oh, nope. No.
Yeah.
No, I was hearing what you guys were saying. I'm just here right behind you.
Oh, okay. It sounded like somebody was snoring.
Mhm.
No.
With that nature check, look into it. You think it could be a bear, maybe.
Mm.
You're like, I know bears do this on trees.
Yeah.
But really, you can't really recall a dragon scratch against things. Though I will say, if you were to, would you say it out loud? Like, would you be like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder what rubbed against this thing.
Okay. I will say Garhide with perception, you're gonna say it's definitely not a dragon. There's just not enough between the wall and the stalagmite for anything more than like a wormling to fit.
Mm.
Alright. So...
Would I be able to tell if this stalagmite on the other side has any weird markings, or would I have to roll enough for perception?
From what you can tell on it, there are no weird markings. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. Nothing looks carved up into it. The only thing that seems to be the flat spot. Are you talking about the other one?
Yeah, this one over here.
Okay, so checking that one out, we
Would
use
we-
perception.
Yeah. Would we get more vision if we head over that way?
Yes, we would be heading further into the cave.
Alright, I'm gonna just follow you guys.
And then, as you guys step over there, you guys start to investigate. And Garhead, you notice much of the same thing. Except you notice on it looks like in several different places something has rubbed this thing flat.
Such abrasion.
And it has the same stink to it. It just smells like, it just smells foul. Like something hasn't bathed in months. And at the same time, it hasn't bathed. At the same time, it's been growing mold. Like Some just left something dirty and filthy sitting in here, and then it just been wet this whole time, and it's just been building up mold and mildew, and it's just the most disgusting smell.
Can I attempt another nature roll on this one, or would this be the same one, nature roll?
If you want to go for the smell, I'll let you do it instead of trying to figure out the marks.
Yeah. There. All right then.
Oh my god, that's great. So, actually, I was gonna say this as you I'm gonna roll it off your nature check. So, as you walk up and start to sniff, as you hear him, like, as he walks up and looks around, and as he walks to the side, you hear this, oh god! And as you walk up, you get hit with a stick, and it just smacks you in the face, and you gag for a minute, and you're all like holding your noses, like this is, it is worse. It is worse than stepping in shit, and then stepping in another pile of shit.
I throw up.
Yeah. Sal just vomits to the side like wretched, and he just stepping back a few feet. He just wipes his mouth and just disgusted. And this crinkled look, face like this is the worst thing he has ever had to do. Like he'd rather go back and fight a million wolves. Thinking of that, he goes, "Wait a second. This smells familiar."
Really?
And as you say that, you start to think about the orcs and the way they stunk, and you think it smells like a dozen orcs that have just, or like 100 orcs that have just been here for like forever and just been like scratching their asses on the same damn spot.
Mm.
And as you guys are, investigating this, and he's just gagging over there and trying to like think, and from all of a sudden you start to hear this voice ring out, and it's just the most light voice, and you just hear in the background, "It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
Gosh dang it.
Not unusual to be seen by anyone. But when I see you smelling around, it pisses me off so much. 'Cause it's not unusual to see you die to just anyone." And as he says that, from the distance, through the fog, you hear a...
Mm.
And then
It's hard.
And then you hear, "Crack, will you just shut up? You're always so loud." "I would shut up if I didn't have to hear your stupid voice, mine." And you hear a boom, followed by a second boom, followed by another boom. And as you guys look into the distance, your eyes start to adjust more to the fog, and through the fog you notice our friend Crack and Vine.
Oh shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't Eaton.
No.
You mean
a tree person?
No, that's a treant. Or
You
a
mean
brigand.
You mean an ent?
An Ent is a tree person, and Eaton is a
No, I said-
two-headed...
Uh,
And Eden is a two-headed orc monster that is essentially two different orcs that share a single bond. They
Alright.
have their own, thoughts, personalities, memories, everything.
Yeah.
But it's essentially two massive orcs. They stand roughly 10 foot tall. He carries both a warhammer, or a war axe, a great axe and a morning sword. And his two heads, as you just heard, are named Crack and Vine.
I'm just waiting for this initiative table to go up.
I'm gonna look and see if that great axe is familiar to me in any way.
So, looking at it from this distance, you can't tell for sure, but it does seem to have the same gold and green color scheme that the one you're carrying does. So, it definitely makes you anxious. But even with that roll, unfortunately, at that distance, and without being able to get a closer look at any runes on it or anything like that, it's hard to determine, but it does look similar. But it does look like a much larger version. So when you're carrying the normal great axe that you carry, what he has is roughly 3.5 feet longer. And the blazer is a solid 2 foot larger. It is a monster. And he stands there, and as he looks at you, you see the left hand just... "We have guest finds. Yes, I can tell can't see. Ah. And as they're just going back and forth, you just hear a voice echo through the mist. Boys, would you take care of our guests? It seems we have some intruders. Make sure they don't leave too early. The voice just laughs and echoes into the distance. Kraken bind each twist their necks in opposite directions. And you hear this echoing.
Old person.
Say again. Can you,
As soon as I know where she's at, so I can't. She or he, I don't know where that person is at. But that being said, yeah, you need to redo the thing.
I know.
Anyways, as like before combat starts, as soon as I hear her talk and say, "Take care of our guests," cast. I know it's probably not gonna work, but just in case, I'm casting Gold Person on this guy.
I'm gonna post the what it says here.
Yeah, because I don't have those in my character sheet because I didn't write down spells or copy spells or anything like that. But yeah.
You know you can just drag and drop them from the spell list.
Oh no, I did not.
You can do that, but some of those spells don't show up.
Well, like if you go to the eye, go to spells, then go to your character sheet while it's in the non-pop out mode.
Yeah.
Just drag and drop them into your character sheet. It'll automatically add it.
Okay.
See where it's like my oath spells aren't on my, like if I click on Paladin and Paladin spells, like none of them are Paladin spells, and whole person is one of those.
Oh.
So yeah, make that wisdom save, boy.
1 second. I'm just double checking that he didn't qualify as human. Oh, yeah, I'm sure it does. So,
I'm pretty sure they do, because they're still like, even though they're like a monster, they're also still a humanoid. So it's weird.
1 second. Let me just see if I wrote this down. What is your no, wait, never mind.
Nope, that does not be my saving throw because my saving throw on that is the DC on that is 16. So no.
okay. So it would be the 12, just for the record, because he gets advantage on all wisdom saving throws.
Oh, okay. That but he still can't
Yep.
move.
He can't move, correct, but just for future reference, he gets. So if I roll into there's a bad one, they're really good.
Yeah.
He does get advantage on all this. But yeah,
That's fine.
great. You held him in place, so now at this point he's just pissed.
Yeah, when it's his turn. Well, I mean, that probably started combat, so we have to roll.
Well, I mean,
now.
Well, since he can't move,
and I'm not targeting him per se. I'm targeting his great axe. Make him drop, so he drops it.
Okay, well, I
Okay.
was just thinking in a typical sense, because normally when you cast a spell on someone who is hostile, as soon as you cast a spell on them, that's when initiative starts, regardless of whether they can move or not.
I understand.
Oh yeah.
If you
Yes.
both go to cast something simultaneously, you both see giant monster and go, shit, he's an early action.
Oh, yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true.
He wouldn't have had much, and it's not like you guys communicated. You just went hold person and went grease at the same time. So
Yeah.
Hold grease person.
Hold this grease, my dude.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, you just see this giant monster with 2 heads. The axe slipped right out of his hand, and he's just stuck there. And he can't twitch his fingers or anything, and he's just. What is wrong?
Magic.
Yeah. So he doesn't. He
Now
doesn't
we
fall.
roll initiative, I guess.
Yeah. He doesn't fall prone or anything, but essentially I just made it so he dropped his weapon.
Yeah, because I'm holding him in place. He physically can't move, so he can't fall.
But even if he could fall, I don't think he would be able to. Wow.
Rip.
Well, geez, the whole person seems redundant now.
Alright, Kraken Bind, you get fucking 1 here. Jesus Christ.
Where's initiative?
Make sure you select your character first and then hit the initiative button.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I probably should have done that.
Woo!
Oh wait, I did do it. Oh
I
okay.
didn't even give it a little worse.
Well, there goes my idea.
Well, no, but actually you go before him, don't you?
Yeah, but I'm
No, you go after him because you rolled a nat 1 and he rolled a 2 minus 1.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It initiative goes by actual number.
I thought if you rolled a nat 1 on an initiative, you automatically go last.
But it doesn't matter. Crack and Bind rolled in that one essentially.
No, they rolled a 2 minus 1.
Crack and Bind?
Your thing there, that's initiative for yours, is a 2 plus minus 1.
Or,
If you hold your cursor
I mean,
up, then
the only way that he could like overrule that was to be like, oh, Kraken Mind rolled a 3, even though they didn't really, because
even so, I don't care. He's got a lower number on the initiative table, regardless of advantages and disadvantages. So
He goes
still
last.
go last. Prime, you'll go second to last.
Fantastic.
it's fine.
Wait, wait. Before initiative starts, how long does grease last?
It doesn't. This grease isn't the normal grease. It's basically just greasing to get him to
you
drop
just
his weapon.
grease the weapon, yeah, so he can't pick it up without having to make a saving throw.
Make a rotate?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Just need to roll initiative, buddy.
Okay, let me just roll. I'm on it. Up. I clicked on the wrong spot. That's why I wasn't going up. I was clicking on the wrong spot.
4.
Ow.
You made it work. Yeah, you didn't click on your token.
Yeah, I was
so.
clicking on the word for initiative instead of the number, not the word.
No, click on your token and then click on the word on your character sheet.
Oh. Let me change that.
There you go. Well, I mean,
I'd
There
still
we
a
go.
4.
you have to go with your first roll, unless, yeah.
Okay. So, alright. So,
Now does he have to? Let's see here.
He doesn't get a save until it's his turn.
right.
At the end of his turn, he gets a save, and he can't do anything until he saves. But I also can't cast a spell that's a standard action until, he breaks free or it ends without dropping concentration.
Yeah. And at the end of 10 rounds, it'll be over anyway.
Is that because all your spells are concentration?
Not all of them, but like
The important
actually,
one.
most of them aren't concentration. Only
Is
other
it-
concentration spells.
Yeah, because you can cast non-concentration spells without dropping concentration.
Yeah, I thought that so the only concentration spells that I have in my normal spell list are Lesser Restoration and Revivify. But everything else. Oh wait, and Cure Ones is also concentration.
Okay, so I will just say this now.
Oh no, it's not. My bad. But yeah.
He's gonna be held for at least 2 turns. Because I rolled a 12. One of my rolls for important was a 12. So I'm gonna
Oh.
change. So I'm gonna change it.
Sorry.
Say,
I said sorry because I was coughing.
no, I thought someone else was trying to say something.
No.
I don't understand what I couldn't get what you were trying to say. Stop. Again?
The port I rolled last game, right? One of them was a 12. So I'm saying when it comes time for that, for him to roll his wisdom save,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just switch it with that 12.
Okay, you had a 19 too that you didn't use.
Right. I'm gonna be saving that for something later.
Okay, just make sure you remember those.
Yeah, I haven't written down on my character.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have that thing that lets people change the stat they roll. Oh, that's so good.
Mhm.
So, Power Hatch?
Just before I take my turn, I want to be something clear about the grease. That is specifically on his weapon, or is it still on the area around him?
It's on his weapon.
I just want to make sure I didn't run into combat and then immediately slip on grease. That would have been a pretty sad opening.
No.
No,
Alright.
his
Just
right
fall
hand
on your
turn,
ass.
Yeah.
Alright.
Gerhard gives a mighty battle roar. Ah! And he runs towards the Etten and takes a swing with his Mogoon's hammer.
Yeah, because Ettins are weird. They count as monsters, they also count as orcs, and orcs are human.
Damn, that is quite interesting.
Rip.
As my hammer flies wide, though, I'm going to spend my bonus action summoning a spiritual weapon. And have that hit instead.
That works.
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
Actually, all of these hits have advantage because he's paralyzed. Can't move.
But even with the advantage on the first weapon,
Yeah.
still doesn't
Duh,
work.
well, I mean, he's paralyzed. Doesn't paralyze like drop his? It gets rid of his dex bonus.
That in order for it to be an advantage, he has to have another ally on the other.
No, you get advantage
No,
because
he's-
he's paralyzed. Stop.
I
Hold
mean,
on.
he's paralyzed. He's stuck. He
Oh,
can't move.
paralyzed. Okay.
Guy. During hold person, you get advantage. Correct, because he can't move. Even still, he still has his AC.
Doesn't paralyze drop the dex bonus to AC though? So it would be his base AC.
I don't think so.
His base AC is still above 10.
Yeah, even
okay.
base AC
Okay.
would be above
Fine.
10.
Like
That's fine.
how?
That's fine. I was just trying to clarify. Sorry.
Nope, that's fine. That's what I was clarifying. So yes, as you swing, your first swing goes wide as you misjudge his actual proportions. Thinking he is larger than he is, you swing wide and end up coming just short. So reaching back your right hand, you summon the spiritual weapon from your top forward, and you strike with a mighty hit on that, seating him to be with that 5 force damage.
Yep.
Perfect.
Oh, and my hammer's still lit up, just in case that light does anything.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, it from where you are, it gives you an additional this little bit.
Does that apply to his spiritual weapon though?
No, it applies to his warhammer.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna need to open up more of that, for my turn. Just saying. But I'll let you do that when it gets there.
Okay. So go ahead. Anything else? Or is that your turn?
Nope, I'm pretty much.
Lark, you go, buddy.
Alright. Bonus action, Misty Step. Poop, find him.
Okay.
And I drop, Misty Step, boom, I'm there. I'm inside him. And then it's a paralyzed flanking bonus.
There's
well,
no
I mean, it
flanking
doesn't
bonus.
matter. Yeah, that's right. I was thinking Pathfinder. My bad. Sorry. I play a lot of Pathfinder.
You're good.
And I'm just gonna give him 2 shots with my Warhammer the first time in the campaign. Swing 1,
That hits.
swing 2.
And that hits.
Alright, now I need to roll, because for some reason it doesn't ever want to roll the actual damage.
If you click where it says warhammer at the bottom, it should roll.
Yeah, you can just click the name of the weapon.
No, I literally just clicked the weapon. Actually, can I? Hang on, let me try something. Let me think of something real quick.
Ignore what I'm about to do.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It
Okay,
just
that's what I figured.
it doesn't just let me. It doesn't just let me roll damage for some reason. It's weird. I could have entered the thing wrong. That's very possible. Okay, I'll just manually enter it. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna do these 2 together. So these hits are together and then plus. And then what's the plus of that? I think it's like 11. Let me see real quick. Okay, plus 6. It's actually plus 12. Because this is across 2 attacks, and the d6s aren't across. So the 1, the 4, the 2, and the 5. So, So 11, 12, 23 of that is not necrotic. 23 of that is bludgeoning.
Okay.
Sorry, that was just I should have just added the necrotic, but I was an idiot. Because that's 12. That's so much easier. Just 12 necrotic, the rest is bludgeoning. I'm an idiot. Anyways,
Yep.
I'm going to take a tiny little step over here and, whisper in his ear, "Magic, boy." And that's done. Cause he said, "What is this?" And I was like, "Magic, boy." As I just, as he sees me turn into mist and then disappear behind him. And that's my turn. Oh, that's all.
I'm thinking here.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really happy that you added an at name. Cause that's really cool. Cause a lot of people don't even realize that etnies are things that exist.
I've been waiting for this. Coming here.
Okay.
One of my first babies.
For now, I'm gonna. Okay, so I'm gonna move. Yeah. I'm just trying to move. I would assume about here is not, nowhere yeah. Just so I'm out of range of just so I'm not in direct range of either Larkin or Garahad. And I am going to cast Firebolt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Firebolt!
And that is, yeah. Oh, darn.
So yeah, they definitely hit, but not as much damage as you were hoping. Let's see.
For being completely unarmed and completely unable to move, this man is surprisingly hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. So yeah, Sal moves to the side and does, hurls out a mote of fire at Kraken by, and you catch on him, burst into flames, and you hear him screaming as the fire burns up on his chest and wears itself out.
Yeah. As a bonus action, I'm going to cast Lele on my staff,
Nice.
Okay.
and then I think that's about all I can do.
Okay.
Yeah. So I end my turn.
All right. Rote?
Okay.
I would like to do my area of effect spells, but there are two people that are in close quarters with it.
I'm just amused at this point. You call that a flame?
Uh-oh.
This
Fire
is
showdown.
flame.
Fire showdown.
Holy shit.
I turn to him, and as a free action, I say, "But unlike you, I can't protect those people that I don't want to be hit by this."
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, that's gonna hit me. And I have protection from electricity, not fire.
No, but
Don't worry, I have the ability to sculpt you guys out, so you guys don't have to worry about it.
Oh, that's right, you took that feat. I always forget that.
It's not a
Dang
feat,
it.
it's a path for the wizard. It's a school of evocation.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. Which I don't have, which makes me a little bit more reluctant to use said big spells when there's
That's a
people there.
natural one.
Why is it not? That must be a save. It must just be one saves naturally. Okay. Well, I guess I want to give a dex check anyways. So yeah, he
Then
just
he takes 33 fire damage.
Jeez.
Oh, okay. Maybe I see what you're doing wrong. So there's like a separate thing. Like, okay, so there's the numbers along the left, then there's the saving throw beside that.
Not on creatures.
Oh, okay.
Creatures don't have a normal character sheet. They just have the pre-built character sheet taken out of 5e book, essentially. And it has
Oh.
across the top, and I can manipulate them, but all I can do is click on them. There's no saving throws. So I'm pretty sure the monster, all you can do, every roll is a saving roll.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay, I
Yeah,
just didn't know.
It's not like in Eden is going to be roaming through the forest and need to make a dex saving throw.
Actually, make that it's a 32 fire damage.
Okay. All right. So wow, you guys are doing a heck of a number on him. Crack at this point, Crack is pissed off. Dorothy, you gonna do anything else?
No, I'm good for now.
Okay. As that fireball hits Crack, he starts yelling, "I will rip your flesh from your bones and make jelly from your eyes."
Can they talk when they're bound with Hold Person?
I would say their mouth would still be able to move. Hold
Yeah,
person
I think-
stop them from being able to move.
Yes.
I would give them the ability to talk, because otherwise, what's the fun of killing something that can't scream at you?
Right.
No,
I mean, not only that, it doesn't specify. I mean, it's they can't move. It doesn't say they can't like, talk.
It technically says they're paralyzed until the end of their next turn. People who are paralyzed are still able to talk, most of them.
That being
Unless
said,
it's
he's
there-
he's paralyzed. Yeah, he's paralyzed until he can save.
Unless it tells me they're in a coma or they're a vegetable, they can talk.
Now, the one question I do have now is,
Uh-huh.
did this fireball do anything to the stalagmites? Stalactites?
From where Karote standing, if you would have cast it, it would just go down. See, it would have really missed the stalagmite. It would just kind of like warped around Gara, happened to hit and rock on him.
This one here?
Yeah, I mean, it would have brushed against it, but I don't think it would have been hot enough or long enough to really cause some damage to it. You can definitely tell it seems to have, like, steered it a little, like it seems darker, but without...
Oh, I have scorch marks on it, but that's about it.
Okay, I was curious.
Go ahead.
Because I know the range on fireball explosion is pretty big.
It's 20-foot radius.
Yeah, but at the distance you're at and where you're standing, where it would have hit, you're not going to be able to tell it very well if it darkened or did anything with mist. It's hard to be sure. If after the fight's over, you investigate it, determine more.
Yeah, because unlike Larkin, you don't have 60-foot dark vision.
I know, I do.
I know you do, but like,
It's not an issue of dark vision. Like Larkin, from where you're standing, you can make out. It's just look at where you're standing style and look at I mean, the damage would have mostly been on the side where he's standing because the fireball would have hit. Well, let me get the thing to actually do something.
Right. Now I was just curious if it, like, just had just for thematic. I guess thematic, I think is the word, or whatever reasons.
No, I understand. Yeah. Why did I just do that?
he can't move.
No. I know it just jumped him for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, man, son of a bitch. Hold on a second, guys. It just undid everything.
Rip.
Where's 80 at this point? 81.
39, 35,
Damn it. It's
5.
I remember it was just about a certain number. Hey, there we go. It's back. Okay. Oh, and I'll let you guys see this.
That
one
was
here.
weird.
Yeah, I was trying to get rid of something else and it got rid of that. I don't know.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, you can. I'm sorry. I just wanted to throw that little burst of rage that Crack is having. He's starting to crack.
Haha, puns.
Alright, I have a question before I take my...
What do you want to do?
I actually have a question. So, with a Constitution save, would he have to beat my Constitution save, or...
Wormlock?
Yeah.
He's muted.
Hold on.
Prime, you muted. I don't know if you
Shit.
know.
I did not. Am I? Okay, sorry about that. So I'm thinking about using a cantrip, but I don't know if does he have to beat my actual Constitution or my Constitution save.
What's the cantrip?
Uh, Thunderclap.
Okay, so he has to.
Yes,
So
they.
it's based on your casting stat, and then it's
He
like base of 10 plus. Like typically, unless you have extra modifiers, it's just base of 10 plus your spellcasting stats modifier.
should be there. It
so
should be
he has
there. It should be there in your character sheet. Your
Uh,
spell saving feat.
that spell wasn't in the character sheet, but it's online.
That's you make anybody within 5 feet of, or anybody within 5 feet of it has to make a Constitution saving throw. Otherwise, they take 1d6 thunder damage. That's
Right.
the answer.
Right, but
So-
he's asking. He's wondering what needs to go against what. And I'm saying it's the spell save DC, your spell save DC versus whatever they roll. The
Okay.
Yeah,
Constitution.
we're trying to help him like figuring out what his spell save DC is.
All right, my spell DC is 14.
Yeah, it tells you right there on the sheet.
All right. Well, my
It
sheet
does.
doesn't have the thing, so on my character sheet because I couldn't find it. But I'm going to move.
Here, I can add it to my character sheet and then delete it really quick
That's
so
fine.
that I can post it.
Shari.
You want Thunderwave?
Thunderclap.
No, thunderclap.
It's not on there.
No,
Thunder-
it's
Oh, it's not. Okay.
no. Weird. I just searched it myself and it's not in there.
Okay, so what saving throw do you have it down as?
Constitution.
So
Oh.
let's make a Constitution roll against your spell save, which is 14.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Larkin and Gar had your book to make one too.
Really, because it's whatever way I directed, and I was going to direct it this way.
Each creature other than you within 5 feet of you must make a Constitution saving.
The only thing. Well, Larkin doesn't have to.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so then it's just Gar had, depending on where you're standing. You're right. Constitution. What did you get?
Nope and nope.
Even on the advantage, you wouldn't be able to do it. So yeah.
No, wait, on advantage, doesn't it go to the defender?
Well, I was gonna say,
I forget how that's done. Unless it's on DM
Why?
discretion.
well,
Does he
nobody
have
would have advantage on this anyways. I mean, unless Primus say, "Hey, I'm about to make the thunder up in this bitch." You know, Gara had would have just been like, "Oh hey, boom, oh shit, what the fuck is happening?"
Pretty much.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And he has. I'm sorry. I was thinking he has advantage on something else, right? Not Constitution save.
Wisdom. Let me double check that it's only one. It's wisdom, perception, and blinded, charm, deafen. Oh no, actually, yeah, he would make because he has advantage on deafen.
Also, yeah, he wouldn't have advantage on my whole person because that's my casting spell is charisma. Oh wait, no, in the spell it's wisdom. My bad. My
Yeah.
bad.
No, you're good. You're good. So, it would take the 14, but I'm gonna say because it's a tie, you get the advantage Warlock. So, you still deafen him, but it was close. It was
Alright.
close. Because yeah, he has advantage on wisdom checks and on saving throws against being blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, stunned, and knocked unconscious.
Alright, so that would be 2d6.
Did you cast it at a higher level?
Uh,
Just a cantrip. It's just 1d6.
it says at 5th level.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. I see what I was trying. I thought it said when you reach 5th level. No, you're right. Okay. So yeah, 2d6. So 12. So
Jeez.
go ahead and mark 12 on yourself for thunder damage.
I'll throw him a potion.
And it's funny that necrotic and thunder damage are in the same one. Cracking behind. Weren't like you gonna do anything else, please?
I already took my move. I have a bonus action, right?
And I move
Yes.
I already moved.
He already used his move. Yeah.
all of his moves because he can do
30
more than one move if he still has leftover move.
I have 30 feet. I moved 30 feet.
Well, I mean, you moved like 5. Or you can move like 5 feet if you want.
Alright, well, I'm not going to. I'm going to hit him with my greatsword.
Is it? Okay.
That's an action.
At level 10, he has 2 actions. As
Yeah.
a fighter.
Yeah. 27 hit.
He has 2 attack actions. Like, or is that Eldritch Knight?
Sorry.
Well, I'm not
just an
sure. I thought you were
extra
referring to extra attack, and that gives him 2 attacks if you use an attack action. I don't think that lets him cast a spell and then attack, unless I'm miscounting Eldritch Knight feature.
Unless he's Eldritch Knight might have a feat. Unless he has haste, he doesn't get an extra attack. Unless he's actually using an extra attack. Because
Guys,
Well-
level 5 fighters get an extra attack. It's on their.
Yeah.
But that's an extra attack. That's 2 weapon attacks. It doesn't let him cast a cantrip and as an action and then have an attack action. If he wanted to swing his greatsword twice as an attack, he can do that. I don't disagree. I'm disagreeing whether you can cast a cantrip and then swing a sword.
And I'm saying that for his class, he can cast a cantrip as a bonus action and swing the sword.
Cool.
okay, then his bonus action is cleared up. He has another attack with the greatsword then.
6 slashing.
So 6 slashing.
Nice.
Okay. Is that end your turn? Ryan?
Yeah.
Perfect. Kraken by his turn. Every time I click the hand button, it jumps.
At the end of their turn, they can't do anything. At the end of their turn, they make
Yeah,
a wisdom save.
So the only thing they can do is make a wisdom saving throw.
And I'm gonna replace the roll with a 12.
Yeah, he's guaranteed to do nothing.
I've already said I replaced the roll with a 12.
Yeah, so that's 17 to 12. And that does not beat my save. So he is still held in place. Feels good, man.
Okay. Just give me 1 second, guys.
Mhm.
I just want to check something real quick.
Alright.
Be forever.
Dun, 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 dun.
Are you looking at Porton? Because I can just post it here.
No, I was just double checking it. Okay. Yep, everything's good. So yep, he fails to
Break the
complete this time. So that's his turn. So Gar, how did your turn again?
Alright, first time didn't bode well, but I think I'm willing to try again with a weapon hit. Alright, so I'll swing my Warhammer at him. Much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
Alright, and just to be sure, that beats his AC.
Oh yeah, that beats his AC.
Alright, then I'm also going to invoke my Divine Strike to add thunder damage to this. So I'll take 9 bludgeoning, 5 thunder.
Nice.
And then I'm going to have my Spiritual Weapon attack as my bonus action.
Okay.
One of these is it. There we go. Bit
Um,
lower.
Those unfortunately. No, that hits.
Alright.
With the disadvantage he has from being.
Nice.
They hit.
Alright.
That's another 6 force.
This did not go how our resident GM expected. Hold person, you can't do anything.
And his weapons are on the ground now, so even he could.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
how-
He has to bend down and pick up his weapon and then roll to see if he keeps hold of it with Carice on it.
Well, he still has his Morning Star.
Oh, Okay, I didn't know he had a morning star. My apologies.
He does have two weapons. He had a great axe and he has a morning star. But he's still holding his morning star in it. And so, if you were to think about it as in each hand to control the hand, Crack is the one that is on your left. That right side of him was holding the great axe. So Crack was the one that had the great axe, and Bind is the one with the morning star. So Bind is still holding his weapon, but Crack has lost his.
Of course, Crack is upset he doesn't have a weapon and Bind does. Lol.
Oh yeah, they're pissed. And at this point, they're just incomprehensibly screaming at you guys. I'm gonna send you on so Larkin.
Bonus action, cast Hunter's Mark.
Just that you were out of stuff. Was that right, Garhead? You had nothing else?
Yeah, I just have my movement. I'm not moving
sorry,
away.
my apologies. I
No, you're
mean to
good.
interrupt you. Bonus action, I'm gonna cast Bane, or not Bane, Hunter's Mark. Jesus, because Bane is not a bonus action. I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark on him. So yeah, mark that with whatever you want, whatever little thing you want to do for that. And then I'm gonna swing at him twice, cause there's not really much better to do. I did not like one thing. Why do I keep doing that? Alright, more hammer. Smack. Smack.
Those both hit.
And I get an extra 1d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And hang on, let me just do math real quick. Okay, that's 4, 4, 8, 13. That is necrotic. The rest is bludgeoning.
Gotcha. Alright, anything else you're gonna do?
I just move over here and now whisper in the other orc's ear. Fear the magic. I'm just gonna keep BMing him, cause I'm a dick. And that's my turn.
Okay. As you slide over and whisper in the other one, but I swear to God I will slide inside you and rip you open the inside.
I dare you.
Next wisdom saving throw in that 20.
It almost sounded like he said feed heard the magic.
Alright.
Yep.
Micah?
Yep.
Correct. Yes.
From
Okay.
Crutch Gazar. Thank you
Damn
for
it.
being an awesome weapon.
Damn it. Nope. Doesn't work on him. Or,
What did you...
I'm trying to put him to sleep. But with that bull.
person actually, oh my god, that would be a meme. Held in place, partially disarmed, and asleep.
So, here's what I'm gonna ask you. Which head would you target? If you only choose one.
I would have chosen the one that has the morning star.
So Bind.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bind's just falling asleep.
Oh boy.
Crack is
Oh man, that's funny.
and Crack is... Bind! Bind! What have you done to Bind? I swear to God I'll kill you up. What did you do to him? Wake him up! Wake him up!
Actually, I think he can wake him.
Oh Christ.
I think he can wake him up if he punches him, right?
He can't move.
Right.
All you hear is his eyes just rolling around as he tries to twitch his head either side. Wake him up! I swear, just wait, find up, let
I yell back. I hope he isn't a heavy sleeper.
He might be.
Alright, you gonna do anything else?
I'm gonna move back towards. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna move back towards Kurote.
Okay. And then that'll wrap your turn. So Kurote, you gonna take care of anything?
See what we got. If I don't, let see if I can figure this all right.
Oh my god.
That's the same as mine.
Oh, I know. He's just like, oh my god.
I didn't configure it for freaking damage. Wait, no, it is. Here we go. I just had to actually click on Firebolt.
Yep.
Oop.
One fire damage. Nailed it!
Wait.
That doesn't
Yeah,
work.
that's
supposed to be two-
impossible.
It's supposed to be 2d10.
Yep.
I gotta click on it again because it's 2d10. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm so sorry.
Okay, I just have to wonder if it's even rolling. Clicking it one more time, but we won't count it. I need to save my turn. Oh my gosh.
I don't think it's rolling.
Yeah, it makes it seem like it's not rolling if it just keeps showing up 1.
Yeah, just
It's
do it
not
again.
rolling.
Just roll the dice.
Yeah, just roll 2d10.
Yeah, 'cause I was about to have some fun describing that miss.
Just,
How do I-
just whizzes in between the two heads, singeing the ears on the other side.
It's the two little it's the little dice thing underneath the ruler, on the left
Oh,
side.
the dice thing. Oh, I see it.
Or you can type in chat /roll space 2d10. Yeah, that works too.
Okay.
Um,
you
two,
did 10 damage?
So 10 fire damage.
All right.
Damn it.
That
That
would
is
be
a-
really funny. Just you miscalculate the aim and it just goes in between.
No, it would hit. It would just be like a little puff of smoke in their face.
Does
Yeah.
that wake up the one guy because he took
Uh-huh.
damage, or does it hit the other guy?
Even if it hits them both at this point, Bine's out of it.
Okay, so firebolt for 10 damage.
Because I could have sworn damaging the thing would wake him up instantly.
I mean, double check to see for sure, but I think it really doesn't matter at this point. I mean, they're
Yeah, he's held person too, so even if it did wake him up, it would quite literally do nothing.
yeah, and we haven't actually ordered. It's 6 seconds around. I mean, we are coming up on the point where he would have woken up because it's about his turn, or it's been about a minute.
Here, let me
Well, no, a minute would have been 10
That's right.
rounds.
Yeah.
I got to do the whole, not the partial.
Oh. There it is. Yeah.
Uh,
And a single round of action, so like from Garahad to Garahad is 6 seconds.
actually, are they? You said they have advantage on being charmed.
Yes.
Okay, so not at me.
Question, just for flavor, I'm pretty sure I know your answer on this. If one head is asleep, do they still get advantage?
Yes.
Darn it.
And
Darn it.
the reason is because it's still, you know, it's like you can put both heads to sleep. It's impossible to put both to sleep, so it always is doing something.
Yeah, I know. I knew that he was going to be your answer, but I asked it in hopes that you would say the otherwise. Anyways,
Sorry.
our resident Kitsune. Oh wait, no, he just went, so it's actually Wormlock's turn. Oh wait, no, that's Sal. I'm fucking high. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just posting it so it would
Yeah, I was just looking over it again because
Oh no, Zane did just go. It is Wormlock's turn.
Yeah, I just did firebolt.
I
Yeah.
psyched myself out like 4 different times right there.
Alright, I guess it's my turn. I am going to attack him twice with my greatsword.
24. I don't know what he had then.
11. Actually, you have advantage. 17 or natural 20, so you hit, and that's a crit.
So, what is he at?
He-
So,
He
I-
hit because
Go-
advantage.
go ahead and roll.
I
Go
already
ahead
did.
and roll your damage, but you hit both attacks, and I'm just gonna, just roll your damage.
One's a crit, so you roll the second one 2 times.
So, how do you want to do this?
Hey,
So I get to choose how this goes down?
Yeah, tell me how you want to kill him, and I'll make what's really nice.
Alright. I want to jump up and take my greatsword and cleave, or attempt to cleave both of the heads off.
Okay. So, battle has been raging on. You know, Kraken Vine has taken quite a bit of damage, unable to move at this point. And with a roar and a leap, Wormlock runs up and pulling his sword back. He swings forward as hard as he can. The rage of battle and the bloodlust getting to him, and with one fell swoop, he takes off both Kraken and Vine. That head falling to the ground and rolling away from the team. The body crumbling to the floor and leaning against the pillar where they are. A spray of blood going over Larkin's head. But that's the end of Kraken Vine.
Yeah!
I'm still my eater.
Alright.
I'm gonna chuckle, look down, and speak over them. So much for ripping out our innards. 2 orcs is the same as 1.
Alright.
Just for the record, Sal, I need to read the full spell effect. He would have been immune to the sleep, for future reference.
Okay.
Just because he's immune to being charmed.
I think that he had advantage on being charmed, not immune. So,
Advantage. So I mean, he would have just had an advantage on trying to avoid that. But on top of that, it's the 5d8 for the hit points, and anything with that hit points or higher can't be affected by the spell.
right, that's what I was asking at first.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it didn't work.
And no, I didn't read. I didn't catch the full effect of the spell when I said it, but it didn't make a difference either way. He was locked in place. So
Yeah.
if he
Alright.
was magical, it would have been a difference. But just wanted to let you know for future reference, I misread that, and
Okay.
that's how it would change. But it wouldn't make a real difference in the fight. So yeah, he's dead at this point.
Alright. I'm going to Arcana or Investigation that great act. Just to, again.
Arcana the Great Act.
Alright, I'm going to, I guess, investigate the body.
Does Ormlog actually give me a healing potion?
That,
Yeah,
so natural 20 is
I
back-
taught you a healing potion. It's which
Okay.
one is it?
It's
It's
back-to-back natural 20s.
I just give you like a basic healing potion.
I think that's 2d6 plus 2. Let me double check.
I'm gonna roll investigation on the body.
So what do I see with my net 20 Arcana on that great axe?
I was just letting everybody talk for a second. So yeah, looking as the battle ends, you kneel down and look at the great axe, covering the handle of which is covered in grease. The axe being basically as tall as Arkin is. Actually, slightly taller if you were to stand it up.
Mhm.
It's a monster of a blade. But up and down the handle, you
Mhm.
notice the same runes that you notice on the great axe you carry on your back.
Yep.
And looking over the blade, you see what seems to be an inscription in a flowing script. And studying it for a few moments, you notice that it's essentially a prayer, asking for undeath upon death, for life upon, for additional life, for the blessings and abilities of those who watch over those who are dead. With that, you get the sense that you would have, if he'd had this, it would have been a much more difficult time
Mhm.
fighting him, because you feel like you would have been able to gain more strength. And actually, as you study it more, the nature of the spell comes into your mind, and you understand that it not only provides immunity, it not only provides 40 additional life points, but it also gives the user the ability to have what's essentially hold on a second, what's it called? Sorry, it's got a proper name. I want to reference it officially. It essentially has what's called false life upon it. So if he'd been able to hold it when he'd died, essentially he would have come back with a certain number of hit points from the dead.
Yeah, and I cast the firebolt there is just to get rid of the grease that was on the axe.
Okay, so the handle goes up in flames real quick, and it just burns off the residual grease. I'm pretty sure you would have been able to just dispel the grease, but that works too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the handle's clean now, and as you go to lift it, you roll a strength check for me.
Yeah.
Can I assist?
I'm sorry?
Can I assist with the strength check?
That's what you get for rolling those 2 natural 20s back to back, guys.
So,
Yeah. Well, at least it's on something that's
A -1 strength. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, no. It doesn't matter what you roll, you're not gonna help him.
Yeah.
Sal was attempting to lift the great axe by himself, and he heard the oh god! And Sal kind of like puts his hand on his back and like leans against the and upon Sal standing there, he's like, I think I pulled my foot back.
I'm
Yeah.
going to, I'm gonna walk up to him. So, find anything out about that weapon that he was holding?
Give me 1 sec. It's do I take any damage, or do I just have a strain pack and have disadvantage on things?
It's just one of those like you went to pick up something heavy and you're like, oh that hurt. Your back just hurts. It aches. It's not. You won't have disadvantage or anything about that.
Okay. That nat 1 was the perfect time, but I tell him, yeah, this is basically it would have given him. This is the ability to give people more life, as well as casting spell. I believe it's called false life. If you know what that does.
I mean, I could roll to do what it does. I assume you would also talk about the very, like, dark message about undeath and stuff on the hill.
No, I'll leave that out. Because you just asked, what was...
I mean,
what's
it
with
asked
the sword?
about the blade. Like, I didn't ask specifically, I just said, what's up with the blade?
Well, yeah, I tell you that, I tell you what effects it does, and the spell it does.
Alright.
That's it.
Yeah, given how you reacted last time to the other one I found.
That's... A, that's smart. B, that's super comfy. Not even gonna lie. Pardon my French. That is super petty. I'm gonna say, well, this is a mighty blade, but, it's
I was
larger
gonna-
than I am.
I wasn't offered up to Warmlock.
Alright,
Let's see.
I'm gonna try and pick this one up.
This thing is probably super heavy. Good luck with that. You probably take penalties to wield it.
Is it strength
thing-
check?
This thing is huge. This thing is bigger than me. I know I'm not very large, but I'm like 5'4". I'm tall for a dwarf.
Alright, that's my strength check.
So, Wormlock is able to pick up the great axe, though it does seem a little unwieldy. You kind of do that Peter back and forth. You kind of run forward for a second, and then like you get your hands on it, and you're like, I got this. You lean backwards. So run backwards with it, and you're like, Finally, you finally just fuck this. You just slam the handle into the dirt, and you put your hand on the top of the handle of it through the middle of the 2 blades, and you just lean against it like, I got this. pick it up, but it's not something you can pick up with two hands and try to wield at this point.
Alright, I'm going to offer it to Garahad and say, do you want to try? He seems your size.
I make the suggestion that maybe we cut off a bit of the handle to make it shorter.
That's actually not a bad idea.
It's I don't know what it looks like before I say this. Does it have like, is its handle made out of like metal or is it made out of wood?
Upon inspection, it seems the handle is made out of a typical. It seems to be imbued wood. It's lacquered. It looks very similar to like a nice door. Something that won't burn easily, that won't break easily, that has some strength and sturdiness behind it. But it doesn't look like it's made out of metal.
I would say, well, you can try that. It does seem to be of a pretty well-made quality, though. I would doubt that it's easy to shorten.
I mean,
Also, all the weight is on the blade, not the handle. So, cutting the handle down probably wouldn't help too much.
Yeah. Actually,
Cutting the hand would probably just make it harder to wield.
yeah.
true. Unbalanced and all that. Never mind then.
Well, Mark, with your kill, you sure you don't want it?
If I can't wield it, I can't use it, and I really do not want to be fighting this upcoming battle with a weapon that's going to make me fall.
Will this thing fit in my pocket or no?
Bag of holding. Bag of holding.
If anybody had
Yeah.
anybody had a shrinking spell, yes.
If it was a shrinking spell, I would still carry that.
Well, no,
Yeah,
you
no.
Bull would go, but yeah. No, I don't have an large reduce.
Even with the... Let's say Gerahad is looking it over and assuming a best case scenario, would he be able to wield his shield while wielding the axe?
Let me check your default strength. I don't think so.
It's 16 plus 3.
I mean, but yeah, I'm close. Let's see.
I mean, mine's 18 base, so...
Yeah, Warlock would have had the advantage on that one, so I'm gonna say most likely it. Well, it seems more holdable to your body.
Yeah, for his body size, I would assume.
Because Garahad's roughly 8 to 10 inches taller than Warlock. So, and he's probably a good 6 or 7 inches the king. So I mean, you could probably hold it better. You know, sizing it up, it looks like something that would be in the equivalent of like a great sword for you. So it wouldn't be a great sword for the person. It would be a normal sword for you, but this would be like a great sword for you. Essentially, is the size comparison I want.
And those are two-handed, and I need to use my shield.
Yeah,
But
so
do
it's something you
got
could
the
probably
muscles.
step back and carry. Like, it's not something you could probably actively use in battle very
that-
easily.
In that case, I'm going to hastily write down, like the spells, all that stuff on there, so I can so I can learn it, copy it down at a later time for making my spell book.
Okay.
Alright, Warmlock has an idea, but he has no clue.
What would I need to roll for that?
To copy it,
Yeah.
no, you have comprehend languages, so you would be able to print out your paper and quickly sketch out the runes the same as you would anything else. It wouldn't take you very much at all.
So basically, then I can then take some time to actually learn the spell and copy it into my spell book at a later date if I wanted to.
You
Wonderful.
could. It is a level 6 or 7 spell.
So I will need to wait for that time then.
Yep,
But-
just letting you know. But yeah, you can add it to your book. It's not something you'll be able to cast until that you can cast that level of spell. Which, let me know the exact level. It is a level 6 spell.
Well, it would take like an hour and a half or 2 hours to.
Well, you'd have to take a short rest to change your spell list to tune it.
Yeah.
And,
Alright.
and that's kind of the feeling you get too, Garahad. If you were to spend some time with the weapon, practice with it, and actually train, you could probably wield it. But at this point, and Wormlock, you kind of get the same sense too. But at this point, it would.
It's not worth
Word.
my time.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of that, Wormlock has an idea, but he has no clue if it's gonna work. is there a way to transfer, I guess, the abilities that Sal was talking about to his greatsword?
You would have to do an Arcana check.
I'm willing to do that.
Okay, so I have a scroll of false life then, or whatever.
Yeah, you have a scroll of false life at this point.
While they're continuing to do that,
Nope.
Gerahide is going to walk
Nothing.
a little bit further away and see if he can't get a full scan of the cave.
Maybe I
And
can.
I'll
I-
get the troll.
Actually, can I assist him with that? No.
I mean, you're a wizard, so it'd be really helpful.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say because you're busy copying that spell down, take you a few minutes, and while you're doing that, he's probably gonna be looking around.
Mhm.
When you're done with that, if you want to join me, you could, but it would depend. Probably take you. How long is it? Probably take you 5 minutes to write the whole spell down. If you're just gonna write it down and wrap it up and throw it in the pocket, you'll probably get a quarter of the room search, half of the room search, so you can take the other half if you wanted to at that point.
Oh no. Someone wanted to roll Arcana to get the spell onto his greatsword.
Oh, that's what you meant. Yes, you could help with that.
Since he rolled a 5.
Yeah. If you wanted to help with that, you could.
How much better?
Yeah, you would be able to inscribe it. It would take 3 to 4 hours for you to do it, and then you would have to it would take a bit of energy. So you'd have to do you'd have to do a rest after that to essentially expand your energy.
I'll explain that to him and say that maybe we should do this at a later time, since it
I
seems
would, I would speak up and say we need to keep moving. Whoever tasked this being to keep us busy is probably gone now. But if we have any chance of catching them, we need to go as soon as possible.
Alright.
While you guys are talking, Gerahard is walking around. So you notice there are 3 stalagmites in the area. You notice some broken rocks throughout it, like some others might have existed in the back corner, next to the next doorway. But it seems more like it could have been a pet as well. You can't really be sure. Trying to see if you rolled a perception from earlier. What?
If you're referring back to the first perception I rolled when we were in the room, I think it was like 21, 23.
Yeah, but that we'd have to do another one because that was so long ago.
I'm sure. Oh, that was so how long ago it was, so I could make a decision on it.
It was at least 6, at least a couple rounds, like more than.
Well, at
So
the
we
same
each had-
time, just keep in mind that even if the combat had lasted 10 whole rounds, that would have only been a minute. So it's been less than a minute since the last check has been made.
So yeah, that probably took you guys like 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna. I mean, he rolled like a 21, so I'm just gonna. I don't see how like now you would be any worse off. If you'd taken like damage or something, like a lot of it, I'd probably say yeah. But I'm just gonna say for now.
Yeah, that entire combat, not including the searching afterwards, but the combat took maybe about 24 seconds.
Because we each went twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we each went twice, 12 seconds.
Yeah.
No, yes, because the Kraken, whatever, went twice, and then you guys went again, right? No, yeah.
The point is, it's been little to no time.
Actually, it's only been 11 seconds, right? Because we all went twice, and it ended on a warlock before Crack and Bonnie could go again.
Yeah, so it essentially happened so fast that you guys were still within the initial like to investigate. It literally was like, oh hey, there's a thing. Oh hey, it's dead.
Wow. Alright.
As normal.
Hey, there's a thing. Stop moving. Okay, now it's dead.
That's so scary.
So I can't get a good damage for that. Okay, we're just gonna have to roll with it. All right. So yeah. As you guys investigate Gerahard, you do find a pile of bones to the right side. Those 3 little circles over there on the right side of the map.
Oh,
You find that.
this up here?
Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm on a different page. But it's the 3 little circles on the right, yes. There's several circles on the right. Shit, my map. Yes, those are it. That's a pile of bones and bodies.
Ooh, bodies.
Yeah, just it looks like the leftovers from the it looks like the leftovers from the eels are there, and looking through it, you see the bodies of several. I'm assuming you want to look through it, right?
Would that be investigation, or are you just going to tell us?
I'm just going to tell you,
All right.
the bodies are mostly like fallen apart at this point, so there's not much in the way of anything left. Um, they do seem to all been warriors or archers of the time, be carrying there seem to be weapons, shields, things of that nature. Um, um, there are you don't really notice anything good. There's some swords that are dented, some axes that are broken, and it's a shield that's got several holes in it where it looks like the Morning Star hit it at one point. That's
Oh, and just a heads up for saying it's 11:30 almost here.
yeah.
Okay, that makes it 10:30 here. We should probably see if we can wrap it up within the next, say, half hour, because I don't work overnights, but I'd still like to get a few hours of sleep before I have to go into work.
Yeah, then I'm actually going to go ahead and just call it here. Let you guys finish investigating, but I don't want to go into the next room because the next room's where
All right.
your host will await.
Hold on. Before we call it, can we take a rest?
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Because I really want to transfer that sword thing. So I'm going to write this down, and we're going to do it on my rest.
Okay, so that's we're going to wrap this up then. So you guys have killed Track and Bind. At this point, the mist has gotten a little thinner, but you still everywhere around you.
Sorry to jump in. As soon as you would, I'll let you finish talking after this. As soon as I would say that, I would remind you once again, like, I really think we should get going. That being is probably gone. I don't know. I just really don't want to wait here.
I don't think so, because it seems like this is their hideout, and they're kind of egging us on to come meet them.
They're waiting for us.
I'm just trying to be careful. Is all.
I understand.
So being asshole guests to an asshole person doesn't suit me.
Nope.
It's the reverse of the whole making the people wait to come in to meet you for the business. They're
waiting for us.
Yeah, we're gonna make them wait for us. Yeah.
So let's take this rest while we can.
Yeah. I mean, you could always, cast yourself into a little hut or something if you guys wanted to.
Sure, I can.
Tiny hut?
Yeah.
Listen, put it this way. If she has the ability to remove our memories and distort time,
but we're in it. We're not.
She can. Okay. She can easily probably find a way to get us and do the same thing again.
Not if we're in the tiny hut, because that's in the pocket dimension. Only we are allowed in.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, we've never used that spell before.
Yeah, it's right there, and I'm ritual casting it. So.
All right, everybody in the hut. Let's take a rest.
Can we do we need to roll a strength to drag the axe into the hut?
I mean, I can carry it, so.
Yeah, I think we've already proved that Worm can carry it, and that we haven't proved that Garahop can carry it, but we're pretty confident he could. But Wormlock could carry it at least. You guys can drag it in there and set it in the corner. Yep.
Yeah. Actually, if we're gonna do that, it's the same. So it's just a better version of the one I have on the great or the axe I have, right?
The only difference is that it has slightly more. So it's two-part. The first part is a blessing from the god in the rule. That's the additional life points. You won't be able to copy that. The false life was a spell that has been put on it by some form of magic. Your Arcana check, it would tell you that some mortal being had to cast the spell and imbued it upon this weapon, so you can replicate it.
Right. So I can replicate it on my lesser version as well during this rest.
You could definitely try. Yes. I'm trying to figure out what exactly we'd have to do.
Arcana?
Would have
Well, we did an Arcana to figure out what it was. I'm trying to see if an Arcana would be appropriate for imbuing it as well. I'm thinking. I'm just trying to make a decision real quick.
because we're going to be rolling that to imbue the other one, right?
Yeah, you're
on
gonna roll
his.
the same. You're gonna roll the same spell to. You're gonna roll the same spell to imbue it on your axe and on his weapon. But it will be two different rolls, and I'm just trying to see. Let's see.
I think today went well.
Yeah.
I get a new weapon. If this
Uh,
works out.
And so we'll both roll whatever we need to and combine them together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then would we have advantage on the second one, since we've done it once before?
I
if
would
it
assume
succeeds?
we would get advantage if we succeed.
So yeah. If you were to succeed on the first one, I'll give you advantage. If you fail on the,
It's just a straight roll on the other one.
it'll be the same roll. It'll be a fresh one.
Alright.
I'm gonna say go ahead and do. So this is. Sorry, I'm just checking one more thing.
It wouldn't be performance, would it?
No, performance would be like if you were juggling or something.
Yodeling.
Or like trying to distract someone by like singing or like telling a joke or like retelling a story
I gotcha.
or
You know
playing any instrument. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, give me. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the. Acrobatics.
Alright, well, since we are done, I'm gonna peace out then.
Where do you want to
Yeah.
put your clothes?
Instead,
Go ahead.
Oh, you got empty baskets?
You just take it for now.
Sal, go ahead and.
Alright. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Just roll a. I'm torn between intelligence and arcana. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make a decision. Because you're not. It's not a check because you're not. You're not doing something just a straight like, can you do this? Yes or no. Roll me an intelligence roll.
Okay.
Sal, because you'll be casting the magic.
Intelligence for me?
Yes. And then okay.
Nice.
Go ahead and roll an arcana check as well.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, so you're going to be pretty much useless in this, but I will say that the I set the spell DC at like 20 essentially. So yeah, you were able to cast the spell successfully on the which one did you try first?
On his
Yes,
on the
brothers.
great sword.
Sweet. So yeah, your great sword now has false life. So what it does is if you were to fall to 0 hit points, instead you would roll 1d4 plus I think it's 4. And you would double check. Yeah, 1d4 plus 4, and you gain that any temporary hit point until you lose more than you're separated from your weapon.
1d4
Plus 4.
plus 4, and I'll add this in later, I guess.
Yeah, just write me a note. That weapon now, if you were to, like I said, as long as you're holding it in your hand active, when you hit 0 hit points, you will automatically go back up to
When
1d4
you hit 0
plus
life
4.
points, you lose the duel.
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
Get sent to the shadow round.
can I do that before I leave and do the bond ritual with my greatsword?
I'm sorry?
The bond ritual with my greatsword, if I choose to use that weapon.
You mean attuning it to yourself?
Well,
Yeah.
the weapon's already attuned to you. I mean, I would say you would spend. Are you guys going to do a long rest or?
It's up to y'all guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to assume it's a long rest because we're going to session. So I would say you spend probably 3 or 4 hours casting this between the two weapons, so an hour or 2 each.
Right.
So do I need to roll again, or do I for mine? Or
You got it. You got it the first time. You're gonna know how to do it the second time.
Okay.
Your natural magical abilities allows you to replicate that. However, are you gonna Prime? Are you gonna help on the second weapon as well, or are you gonna let Sal just kind of take it?
I can try and assist. I don't know how well it's gonna work. I might just get in his way.
Sal, would you want the additional assistance?
Sure. It'll be
Okay.
sure.
Alright.
So yeah, you go ahead and you succeed on doing it the second time weapon. Wormlock, if you want to be able to use the spell and attune that spell to you, so your weapon you're good with, you know your weapon. But if you wanted to attune the spell, so that you could use the spell without having to.
No, just because I know that bond allows the weapon to, like, pretty much never leave my hand unless.
Oh, that's fine. I'm so sorry. I just understood what bond you meant. Yeah, if you wanted to spend, I think it takes a short rest of 4 hours to do that.
I was just gonna do it in this long rest.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
I'm saying you're already thinking about 3 or 4 hours helping Sal cast the spell on the two weapons.
It only takes an hour.
Oh, it does only take an hour? Okay. Yeah, you're good.
Well, with this next long rest, we still on the same day, or are we on the next morning?
Probably next morning.
Yeah, so you will be the next morning, because it was getting dark as you were arriving in the cave. At this point, you've gone pretty much full circle in the day. So you're probably, like, I don't know, middle of the night. I mean, it's hard to determine it from the cave, but at least, you know, you guys have gone at least 12 to 14 hours since this whole thing has started.
Alright, sounds good.
so now my great axe. Are you gonna be updating the card that's in on my sheet thing here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you do that so I don't mess it up. I just put it in the notes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now. Anybody else have anything they wanted to mention?
Yeah, I'm doing something because just because it's dawn. Gotta roll.
Oh, I guess I'll do this now. Since we're doing a long rest.
Oh, you're gonna switch your spell thing?
No.
Oh.
So, that's alright. It'll help get rid of 2 checks. Lower 2 checks.
2d8 plus 4, so my staff has full charges again.
Alright.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it. I'm just gonna say Wormlock finishes doing his bond thing, eats a little bit of food, and then goes to sleep.
I really think you should.